ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian home cocktail maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian cocktail maker. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for weddings, holidays, birthdays, or for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. And right now, buy a Bartesian and get your first 6 cocktails free when you go to Bartesian.com/drinks. Go to BARTESIAN.com/drinks for your free cocktails. That's Bartesian.com/drinks.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Who's ready for a first place battle? I'm ready. Are the Huskers ready? Well, Yippee is ready. We're all ready. Nick's ready.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome, everybody, to a One Beer Friday, and we are so happy to be with you. We are on location today for the weekend of a first place battle between 2 of the ugliest mascots in the history of sport.
Ugly?
Well,
what are you talking about?
Well, I put it up on the graphic. I mean, those are 2 of the ugliest.
I like Purdue Pete.
The ugliest bug-eyed mascots. Purdue Pete, the stepbrother.
I like Purdue Pete
of the Providence Friar.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
It's the same scary look.
Same dad, but not the same mom, or same mom, but not the same dad?
I'm not sure.
402-951-1620.
I'm not sure, but
hashtag dumb debates.
But the genes are definitely shared.
Oh, yeah.
We are live thanks to our friends at the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. We are at Backswing Brewery here on West Maple, 129th and Maple. If you're driving down Maple and you see the Super Target and you see the Canes,
turn right.
Well, it depends on which way you're going. If you go north, you're going for chicken fingers. If you come south, you're coming for beer.
Just look for the 1620 The Zone things that Nick hung up on the outside because they're just blowing and flailing in the wind right now.
Well, I'm sure if you're driving by on Maple at 45 to 55 miles an hour, it's going to be a really quick glance. But
that's true.
We're
just a quick glance.
We're just on the south side of Maple on 129th Street, next door to Eagle Run. And we are here as part of One Beer Friday, presented by the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. And Backswing is our featured beer today. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Counting
6,
on air.
7,
Awesome radio.
8, 9, 10, 12. Whoa! 12 of their beers on tap, and I think they even have a few extras over there.
Oh, yeah.
As well. But they also have takeout. Well, I say takeout. They have it in cans.
Uh-huh.
They got a wide selection in cans of some of their most popular beers. So you can stop by, grab a 6-pack, take it home for the weekend, or stop by and park yourself for a little while. They've kind of put a modern twist on the neighborhood bar and grill, right?
Yep.
Or neighborhood bar.
Yes.
Because it's just a bar.
Yep.
It's just a bar. But they got TVs everywhere. There's a nice fireplace. It's nice and spacious. They do some sing-along karaoke stuff. And on Fridays, they do happy hour for teachers.
Yes.
All day long.
That is an incredible deal.
It's 20% off
20%
your tab
off.
for all teachers all day, open to close on Fridays here at Backswing.
Amazing.
So perfect to wind down the week. You're tired of the kids. You're tired of having to send everyone to detention. Or if you were like my teachers, you were tired of beating them over the head with a ruler.
Whoa, those are the old days, John. We don't do that anymore. It's 2022.
There might be a few old school teachers. But either way.
I got spanked one time at school.
Did you?
The old days, yeah. I think
Yeah.
I lied to my teacher a bunch.
What was
or
his
something.
name?
I don't
On the
remember
playground. Just wow.
No, it was the principal, John. It was like I said, it was the old days. I think I lied a lot. That doesn't sound like me.
No, it doesn't sound
I've
like
changed.
you at all.
I'm a new man now.
It doesn't
John.
sound like you at
I'm
all.
a new man.
But after a long day at grinding, come on over, get 20% off your tab. It'll be great, and we're going to enjoy some great Backswing beer coming up in the happy hour today, which is, of course, on Fridays. Hashtag One Beer Friday, presented by the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild.
Troy wants to know, a very good question, here to find out if JB guarantees a win versus Purdue again. Man, people have not forgotten.
Oh, people have not forgotten. One person.
No,
One person.
This is the fourth comment this week that someone has brought up.
4.
Hey, look.
4 people who have
Okay,
long, bitter memories. It doesn't. You can put out.
I'll put out a poll question.
You could put a poll question out there that said, John guaranteed that Nebraska would win the national title last year, and they'd believe it because people believe anything. They believe lies. Don't you know Twitter is full of lies?
No, that's not true. This is
well,
a
no,
lie, though.
Listen, I'm a man. I'm 50. I will cop to it. Yes, I guaranteed a win over Purdue last year, and they were winning.
Nice.
They were winning early into the second half. So I was half right, but I was wrong. But no, I'm not guaranteeing a win.
All right, I'm putting out a poll question. Do you remember what John guaranteed last season when Nebraska played Purdue? 4 options. He guaranteed a win. He guaranteed a loss. I don't remember. Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? All right, there we go. Awesome. We have 4 options. 4 options.
Well, speaking.
Greg and Lincoln. Here we haven't heard a lot from Greg and Lincoln this week.
Oh yeah, he's
trying to figure out if he's triggered or not.
No, he's laying low because this is his worst week of the year.
Tomorrow he'll be muting Jack Mitchell.
This is his worst week of the year
Greg.
as the only Purdue guy in the immediate area. Where he doesn't want to hear about it from Husker fans. So he's laying low until after the game, and if Purdue wins, then he can.
Then he unmutes everybody.
Then he can get his horn out and toot his own.
Winnable game.
Toot his own horn. But and I forgot what I was going to say now. That doesn't matter anyway.
Okay.
All I will say is this. Oh, that's right. That's what I was going to say. Speaking of polls.
Nice.
Speaking of polls, we have World War III going on right now on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter page.
Wars are back, folks.
Wars are back. Well, I don't know if you know this.
Wars don't really
Pretty
stop.
much wars have never gone out of style.
That's true. They're
Since
always
Adam
in
and Eve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, they were against Satan. They were against, the devil.
Yeah, and then she turned on him by eating the apple, and it turned everything upside
But then
down.
he ate it, too, so he
but she started it.
Wow, blaming the woman.
Well, she did.
Jeez,
she did it first.
It's 2022, man.
Well,
again.
she did do it first.
She did do it first, yeah.
She shot first, hand shot first.
Nice.
That's how it works.
Nice.
But speaking of polls, yes, we have the latest in Not Frost versus the World. Ladies and gentlemen, what a battle we have today. But who is that battle, Ms. Gladys?
Mike Leach. Are you kidding me? You're going to vote for this clown instead of my sweet baby herbs. This guy locked Craig James's kid in a tool shed.
Whoa.
He throws the ball too much. His press conferences ramble on and have no coherent point. If you vote for Mike Leach, I will hunt you down and kill you.
Whoa!
Man,
is she related to that overreaction
I
caller?
told you she was on one.
Wow.
She's been on one this week.
Wow.
Why would she take such a bitter opposition to one of the two contestants? Who's the other contestant?
Urban Meyer. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met.
Oh, she even has the music.
I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Maybe I would rather be dead.
Whoa!
Oh, you're the best.
All right, well, I guess we know who's in the other one then, huh?
Yeah.
I want to have your children.
Oh, whoa, jeez.
Well,
Thumb on the scale much.
a little bit. With nearly 800 votes, and the polls stay open for a little over 3 more hours.
If you're in line, stay in line.
It's basically a 2-vote spread. Now, I don't have the raw numbers, but Urban Meyer,
Oh, my gosh.
50.2% to Mike Leach, 49.8%. Let's go Pirate. Let's go Pirate.
We need Steve Kornacki to come in here and zoom in on the counties and tell us what's happening on the ground.
Let's go Pirate, and let's go Alex Sindelar.
Oh, my gosh,
Alex
Sindelar.
I can't believe they let that guy out. They let him out on
a
Friday.
Friday, no
Usually
less.
when they let the prisoners out, it's on a Tuesday. It's not on a Friday. But yes, it is a razor thin margin. Polls are open until approximately 5:30.
Stay in line.
Stay in line.
We need to go
Vote.
We need to go feed those who are voting. We need to get them some pizza,
Get some water.
get them some chips.
Get them anything
This is
we can.
incredible.
Yes, Urban Meyer
Incredible.
versus Mike Leach in Not Frost versus the World. Well,
Wow.
coming up on today's program, of course, our lineup presented by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Michael Severe is going to join us, and he's going to join us live in the video stream.
Oh, nice.
So you'll get to see his pretty face again. He'll be coming up here in about 25, 30 minutes, and we'll talk about Nebraska and Purdue. We'll also get the Purdue perspective. Tom Dienhart will be along later in the show, about 3:45 or so. Also, it is a big college football weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Not one, not two, but 3 games featuring undefeated teams.
Incredible.
3 in featuring undefeated teams. So we'll preview some of that. We'll have our keys to the game. We'll have our predictions. And you, 402-951-1620, if you want to join us in the Los Hills Harley-Davidson hotline, which can also be used as a textual line. 402-951-1620. You can also hit us up on that same J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed where you can vote right now in Not Frost versus the World. Make sure you vote. Make sure your vote is counted, ladies and gentlemen, this razor-thin margin between Urban Meyer and Mike Leach. Or you can hit us up in the mailbag, the email inbox, brought to you by our good friend Old Man Doug and Equitable Bank. We take banking personally and answer on the first ring. We got a tight ball game in New York. Alex, what inning are they in? Bottom of the 6th. 2-2. The formerly known as the Cleveland, I can't even say their name anymore.
Guardians.
The Guardians and the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep you up to date on that as well. I believe the Phillies and Braves are starting here in a little bit too. So we'll have like dueling baseball games. So you should come on out. Nothing goes better with baseball than drinking beer at a bar.
3:37. 3:37 is when the next game begins.
I'm a big fan of that. So come on down to Omaha's newest neighborhood bar.
Nice.
129th and Maple, south side of 129th and Maple, across the way from Raising Cane's. Just turn south. You'll find us. And we'll have a great time today. I have a good feeling. I got a good
You're
feeling
promising a
about
good
today.
show? We never promise good shows. Because it'd be a bad idea
It'd be a bad idea.
It'd be a bad idea. We're
It'd be
going to promise.
really, really bad idea.
Promise a good show today.
We're not going to promise. We'll make no promises. And we will continue with more. We are live at Backswing Brewery, 129th and Maple on 1620 The Zone.
Irrational confidence.
I've said this all along. You're going to be able to convince me that a lot of these things that could end up happening are going to work. I don't think it's... Now, this is probably it doesn't give enough credit to the people who do it. I just don't think it's that hard.
Wow. Not that hard, huh?
That they haven't been doing.
It's got those 47 games.
Damn it, I told you to not take offense to this. Just do the fundamental things, and then we'll see where this lands.
The Connor Happer Show, weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast, presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch, from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Get ready for another cool and windy day Friday. Sunshine in the morning with clouds moving in for the afternoon. Can't rule out a stray sprinkle. Northwest winds will gust 25 to 35 miles per hour. Highs in the low 60s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Looking for a new pipe or the latest vaporizer? Then go to any 42 Degrees and pick from the largest selection of American-made water pipes from Custom Creations, Jedi Glass, Michael Crouch, and local artist Chris Vargas. Need a new vaporizer from Dr. Dabble, Pax 3, Hamilton, and more? With prices up to 50% off, the most knowledgeable, friendly, and professional staff, and multiple locations. Why shop anywhere else? 42 Degrees, the source.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Tackle those little aches and pains before they become big ones with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
The Madness Haunted House will terrify you to your very soul. Come, your pants all over the 2 acres of fear at Pioneer Trail Orchard. Screaming for 30 minutes until you can scream no more. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. FearTheMad.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-917-1965. That's 1-800-917-1965. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-917-1965. That's 1-800-917-1965.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and include a 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Back on the air. We're having a great time. We're already having a great time back here at Backswing, 129th and Maple. John and Josh. Nick is here as well. Not that that's really much of a draw, but we do have stickers. We do have stickers.
Huge stickers.
We got big, yeah. If you've been looking for a zone sticker, like something you can put in the back window or on your computer, your laptop, or, you know, on your what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Do the kids, A, still buy school books? And if they do they still cover school books? Don't you remember that when you had to buy the books or when you get your books in school?
Yeah. Cover them with stickers?
No. When you put book covers on them?
Yeah. I don't know if they put stickers on those. I wouldn't want to waste that on a book cover because you got to throw it away eventually.
Well, yeah, but it lasts you. I mean, if you put it on now, it's going to last you the rest of this semester and then all of next semester. And then, Now, when you covered your books.
It's an amazing picture of us, by the way. We're so excited about something.
Hey, look, we're pointing.
Hey, Nebraska's good again.
Hey, I did that.
I did that.
All right, we need to turn that into an I did that.
Uh-huh.
I did that.
I did that.
So when you would cover your books, did you, because, they made like the custom covers.
Mm-hmm.
You bought them.
Yep.
And it was kind of like heavy wrapping paper.
Uh-huh.
Or did you use brown bags?
We used wrapping. No, we used the brown bags. But then when I was in high school, they had these kind of stretchy material, kind of like a spandex, and so they had graphics all over.
You put your books in spandex,
kind of. And you know what it did?
What kind of classes were you? You are the sex correspondent now.
That's true.
Now
That's
it makes sense that you put spandex on your books.
Here's the thing, though, man. It didn't help. Like, I remember my teacher saying, that's not going to do what you're hoping it does. Because the reason you buy book covers or you have book covers is to keep them in good shape. We would get fined at the end of a school year if our books were damaged.
Well, yeah.
And so those didn't help at all. So I'm pretty sure I got fined.
I wonder if I could still cover a book.
Yeah.
Because I vaguely remember mastering the art of, you get the brown bag from Hy-Vee, Hinky Dinky, whatever Baker's, whatever grocery store you go to, and you turn it inside out because you didn't want a giant Hinky Dinky logo on your science book, right?
Sure.
So you turn it, so you cut it and you turn it inside out, so it was just the brown side.
Yeah.
And then you learned how to cover the book. I wonder if I could still do it.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
If the muscle memory from all of those years in junior high and high school would come back.
I'm trying to remember. So when I was in school, I assume it was the same way for you. Do you ever pass notes, like a girl, like, hey, I like you. Do you like me back?
No, I never did that.
Okay, well, I did.
I never did that.
You want to know what I said?
I would just shout across the room, "Hey, do you like me?"
You want to know one that I
and
said?
then they would say, "Hey, no."
I'll make sure because I saw a child here earlier. Okay, so I was in 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah.
Probably 4th grade because it was when we started taking human growth and development class. You remember these classes?
Oh, when you get to stay after school and watch the special movie?
No, we did it in school. It was like in the middle of the day.
You got to watch the special movie in the middle of the day?
Uh-huh.
We had to wait until after school, and then the girls went one day, and the boys went another day.
We did have to separate. The girls would go to one class. In 4th grade, there were 2 4th grade teachers at Florence. So the girls went into one 4th grade teacher's class. And so I had to go into the other 4th grade class.
Yeah, I was always disappointed. I always wanted to see the other movie.
Yeah, what do they got over there?
Yeah, I want to find out the mystery.
In the words of Michael Zavir, who will be joining us soon, does she get naked?
And the answer is yes. And by the way, kids, it's the movie where they tell you about hair that grows in places it didn't used to grow.
Sure, you need deodorant now. So anyway, 4th grade, we're learning all these things. I, in my infinite wisdom, decide to write a note to a girl, 4th grade. So I am...
During the movie?
No, this was after one of the classes. So I'm learning these things. So let's see. 4th grade, I would have been 10, 11.
Yeah, you're about 10 years old.
Me plus... Finish your drink. I don't want you to spit this. Said me plus you equals nighttime fun. It's an 11-year-old. I got in trouble. I got sent to the counselor's office. My parents were like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Me plus you equals nighttime fun.
You equals nighttime fun.
Uh-huh.
You're doing this as a 10-year-old?
10 or 11 years old.
God.
Yeah, so I liked those classes, I think, a little too much. Anyway, what I was trying to say was there was a very specific way that we folded notes in the late 90s, and I was going to ask you if you ever folded notes that way, but you just yelled. You would yell across the classroom.
Well,
me
no,
plus you equals nighttime fun.
I really wouldn't because, I mean, it was just I wasn't going to do much anyway. But me plus you equals nighttime fun. What were you trying to insinuate?
Oh, I mean, if we had some nice music right now, you could play the Gladys stuff again.
Yeah.
That's how I wrote it.
Me plus you equals nighttime fun.
Uh-huh.
Well, okay. Will Nebraska have nighttime fun?
Nice.
Will Nebraska plus Purdue equal nighttime fun?
Nice.
On Saturday. More on that as we continue here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct, live from Backswing Brewery. You know, you plus Backswing Brewery equals happy hour fun.
I love it. I love it. This
at
is
129th and Maple.
A new bit now, folks.
It is a new bit. And by the way, Brian Regan is bringing his comedy tour to the Holland Center on March 31st. Plan now, kids. March 31st, right around the corner. You can enter to win tickets at 1620thezone.com. We will start to dive in to the matchup and look ahead to the big weekend of college football coming up. We are live at Backswing Brewery as part of One Beer Friday, 129th Southside, 129th and Maple. John and Josh with Nick on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
An estimated 80% of Americans aren't getting their recommended daily amount of physical activity. It's time to move and keep moving, America. And when you need help, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are by your side. Be your own champion. Choose more movement. Choose better health. Choose physical therapy. Find out more information and a physical therapist at choosept.com/NE. Brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association of Nebraska.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough.
Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. New this year is Stefan's Country Drive. Antique cars where the kids are in the driver's seat. Plus, there's a new carousel. Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is also opening a whole new part of the farm, the cider mill, with more than 50 other attractions included with admission. Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is the place to be this fall. Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard, Gretna, Nebraska. Now open through October 31st.
If you love food, love fun, love fall, you'll love Vallis Pumpkin Patch best of all.
Looking for a new pipe or the latest vaporizer? Then go to any 42 Degrees and pick from the largest selection of American-made water pipes featuring custom creations, Jedi Glass, Michael Crouch, and local artist Chris Vargas. Need a new vaporizer from Dr. Dabber, Pax 3, Hamilton, and more? With prices up to 50% off, the most knowledgeable, friendly, and professional staff, and multiple locations. Why shop anywhere else? 42 Degrees, the source.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back. I can tell already. It's going to be one of those types of shows.
You promised a good show.
I did promise a good show. I had no idea. All this time we've been working together, and this is the first time I've heard about me plus you equals nighttime fun. That is incredible.
10 years later.
You know what? Here. You know what I'm going to do?
What's that?
You know what I'm going to do?
What's that? Mike in Columbus. Oh, Josh, the young perv.
I will buy. I can do this, right? Because it's not coming directly from the station.
Correct.
Can I do this?
Yeah, sure. And if you can't, there's $5 that will be found on the floor for whatever you're about to say.
I didn't bring cash.
Oh, okay. A card and then give it back
I'm
to John.
I'm not giving them my card.
Okay, never mind. I don't know. Just say
I
it.
will.
You'll be
I
fine.
will. I will buy the first person, new customer that walks in here to Backswing.
Yeah.
A 6-pack of whatever they would like from
wow.
the Backswing cooler.
Oh, wow.
If they can quote me plus you equals nighttime fun.
To you? Like they come up and say it to you? They say come over and say it to me?
Yeah, me plus you equals nighttime fun.
Okay. How about that? You're going to get a 6-pack?
Yeah, I'll buy him a 6-pack out of the cooler.
Wow. My mom has texted, by the way. She says,
She says, Josh, your father did the same thing.
No, settle down.
That would be awesome. How awesome would that be?
Not awesome.
How awesome would that be if your dad did that tonight?
Not awesome. And if he does, I don't want to hear about
it. If they sit down to the nightly meatloaf or whatever they're having for dinner,
on a Friday meatloaf,
and he writes in ketchup, me plus you equals nighttime
Okay, that'd
fun.
be pretty impressive if he did it in ketchup.
Josh's dad, if you do that, I will buy you a 6-pack out of the cooler. I need photographic evidence of you writing it in ketchup and putting it in front of your lovely wife.
But she did say, "Oh, Josh, ...
I forgot about that.
Forgot about that one. It's like 23, 24 years.
That
in
is
the,
crazy.
in the rear view mirror. Some other comments. Rusty says, everyone text me plus you equals nighttime fun to their significant other with no context. Best responses win. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, too. We got a prize. We'll find something. Just, text that to your significant other. Take a screenshot. Send us back what they say.
Yeah.
And, we can read those on the air.
Yeah,
The program.
that would be funny.
Yes.
Yeah, send it to your significant other. Me plus you equals nighttime fun.
And now, Patrick, he did ask on the YouTube stream, who's got bigger overreaction this weekend? It's Gary and yours truly this weekend. And Matt says Gary plus Josh equals nighttime fun. Hopefully for Nebraska fans, it does.
Well, I hope Gary's got his voice back. He was the vocal cords were kind of failing him this morning.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's got a cold.
Well, when
so it might be just you plus you equals nighttime fun.
The last time that when your voice went to hell during the College World Series or Kevin's did, Damon was always the fill. I don't think we can get Damon on tomorrow, can we? Do I need to have Robbie on standby?
I don't know.
Should I text Rob? I should ask Gary.
I don't know.
Should I? All right. Well, that's not good.
By the way, it's still 2-2 in the 7th. Cleveland and New York. That's only game 2. Because remember, they got...
Oh, that's right. The rain.
They got rained out yesterday. Michael Severe is going to join us in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about tomorrow night's game. And, of course, you can listen to Big Red Overreaction right after the game. Limited commercial interruption. 1620 The Zone, 1019 The Keg, 1620thezone.com. The offensive line obviously is a situation that is causing Nebraska fits and will probably be the difference between them being able to scrounge out whatever wins they get the rest of the season against the toughest part of their schedule and, whether or not the second half goes poorly. You wonder if there's any moves left to be made out there.
Talking about with players or
yeah,
coaches?
Joseph said yesterday, we're going to put our best 5 out there.
Yep.
But does that maybe mean, a different shuffling of the lineup? Does it mean Turner Corcoran moves inside? Does it mean Brant Banks moves outside? For example, because outside of that, I can't think of too many other moves at this point that they have left to make that might be able to produce some kind of improvement. But it's obvious something has to be done because Corcoran
can anything be done?
Corcoran can't continue to play tackle if he's going to give up swinging gate pass rushes like he has most of the season, but certainly last week.
That's why I want to know, and I plan on asking Michael about this, can they just scheme away from these issues over the next 6 weeks? And because, John, there's a part of me, I understand any criticism of, is that the best that they have to offer? But that might sadly have to be a macro criticism and not a micro criticism of the player.
Yeah.
Macro in the sense of that might be the best that they have to offer, and that's a big picture problem, and it's not on the player themselves. It's on the team, and it's on the former coaching staff and the current coaching staff. It's on all of those things. I worry that is the case. Maybe there's something different that can be done. I mean, there is an idle week coming up after tomorrow's game, but I don't know, man. I just don't know if there is much left that they can do. This was the thing that we worried about all year long, and it's just finally gotten to the part of the schedule, especially after tomorrow night, where I think it's going to show itself. It's just that part of the schedule has arrived, and so I get it. I get all the concerns. I don't really know what can help.
I mean, Purdue. It's not like Purdue gets after the quarterback at a super high rate. 12 sacks on the year. Just taking a look real quick because I was going to double check this earlier today. So Purdue, that puts them basically middle of the pack. They're middle of the pack in the country in sacks, but it's not like, Rutgers was overwhelming with that. It's not like Indiana was overwhelming with that. So the better defenses are coming, and they've got to figure out something because Casey Thompson's not going to make it through the season. And honestly, and I think, and this is kind of a teaser ahead to keys to the game coming up, but if you're going to hit some big plays, especially in the passing game, Casey's got to have more than a second to get the ball off. He's got to wait for, Trey to make his break. He's got to have the time to set, make his good
That's why
throw.
I say put him back in a punter stance. Have him 10 to 12 yards behind center and just have him punting the ball. Maybe that could
Arm
be
punt, yeah.
It's like a RPO, but it's a run, a RPP, a run pass punt.
A run pass punt
every single
or
down.
a punt pass option.
Yes, every single down. Every single down.
Well, we'll discuss these and many other things. Michael Severe waiting in the green room. He is going to join us next. We're live at Backswing Brewery here in West O, 129th and Maple, South Side. So if you see the Super Target, the Raising Cane's, you turn the wrong way. Come to the South Side.
Yeah.
We're right here in the mall. Come on out. Have yourself a beer. And if you're a teacher, I know school's getting out here pretty soon, 20% off your tab all day, every Friday, right here at Backswing, 129th and Maple. Back with Michael Severe next. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh and John here for our friends at the FanDuel Sportsbook. The perfect time to download FanDuel has arrived because if you join today, you can get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. And John, on a weekend like this for yours truly, my beloved Dallas Cowboys traveling to Philadelphia to play the hated Eagles, this is where I would put that money down on the Eagles to cover, because if I am wrong, it's a double win. The Cowboys win, and I get those free bets back if my first bet does not win. You can hedge how you're going to feel on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon if you're a Chiefs or a Bills fan, whatever it is, using our promo code 1620.
Yeah, the best part is you get paid fast. The same game parlays are awesome because it allows you to parlay different props within the game along with the point spread or the money line, whichever way you decide to go in that game. Check it out. It literally is on every game, all the different props that you can bet, football, baseball, you name it. Check it out because you can get same game parlays and that pays you better, all on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. Don't fumble this chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Use our promo code at sign up, 1620. 21 plus in President, Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Studio is 1620 The Zone.
Email from the Equitable Bank inbox with what's on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Fall is in full swing, and you know what that means. Big events, sporting events, shows. And if you're looking for tickets to the best upcoming event, go to my friends, Tickets for Less and ticketsforless.com. They're going to take care of you, whether you want to be at Memorial Stadium for a Husker game or at Arrowhead Stadium to see the Chiefs, even the Chiefs-Bills this weekend. Tickets for Less is your source for the best tickets without the crazy per-ticket fees you pay on other sites. Yes, no crazy per-ticket fees ever at Tickets for Less. They can save you hundreds on fees alone. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Peak Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. Now just $3.99 after mail-in rebate. Limits apply. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Would you rather that your roof or siding last 5 years or 50 years? I'm Dan Thompson of Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation. Products today last much longer. Gone are the days of just tear shingles off, nail shingles on. Whether it's impact-resistant, high wind tolerance, or in the case of EuroShield hail-proof rubber shingles, you can have great designer looks and durability. At Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation, we don't just give you an estimate. We educate you and give you options. So you decide, 5 or 50. Click Thompson 3rd today and start enjoying your new roof or siding.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Your Omaha hockey team hits the road for the first time this season when they head to Lake Superior State this weekend. Pre-game is at 5:30 tonight. Puck drops at 6:07. It's UNO at Lake Superior State on your new home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Quick update in our margin. Urban Meyer now 3% ahead of Mike. Because our next guest, all of his burner accounts open Urban Meyer. You know, you've probably seen a lot of Michael's burner accounts. At Kevin Kugler, Maga for America. You know, there's a lot of them on there. Oh, hi, Michael. Hey, Michael.
Hello. All my accounts aren't burner accounts. All my accounts are actual accounts that for different jobs I have, and it's not really fake accounts. I just log on to each one of them, and I just say, vote Herb, vote Herb, vote Herb. Let's vote for the third greatest coach in the history of college football. Yes, yes, yes.
Boo.
Why not? I mean, it'd be crazy to hire a guy who's, 4 undefeated seasons, 3 national champions. It's just silly. It's ridiculous.
I think he's doing it for the bit. He just wants
Me?
to talk about
Me? Oh, no.
all the press conferences.
No, I mean, no. If I wanted the press conferences, I'd vote for Mike Leach. Honestly, that's the press conferences. Herb just brings you wins, baby. That's all.
Look, Michael's been covering. Michael, what year was the first year you covered the team? 2003 or was it 04?
2002 at KETV because I did all of the Big Red Breakfasts for the morning show. And then I got on the radio show in May or March of 2004.
All right, so you've had 20 years of horrible football. He just wants one fun season. Just one fun season.
I guarantee you he would give you at least 3. He would give you 3, not 1. He would give you 3 really fun seasons.
True. He wouldn't give you 1.
That's enough for me. 3 is enough for me.
He's that coach. But anyway, let's talk about the game on Saturday. We were just talking about offensive line. And really, what moves are there left to make outside of maybe moving Corcoran inside and Brant Banks out to tackle? What moves do they have left to make in terms of personnel?
Actually, you move Dienhart in to right guard. And I would play Banks at right tackle if it was me and have Anthony be a guy who would back him up. I think would be the best bet for me if I was going to do it.
Move Turner Corcoran.
I would leave Corcoran. I think Corcoran's not as bad as Corcoran's problem is usually the guy that's next to him more than anything else. I think Piper's played pretty well compared to the other guys. Hickson's played the best out of all of them. Their big problems have been Dienhart. Whenever he's playing tackle, he is just horrible. So personally, I would take Dienhart, move him to guard, see if that would work. I'd split Anthony and Banks at the right tackle spot, and I'd leave everything else the way it is.
What would you do, Michael, in terms of scheming protection, scheming play calls that would allow for Casey Thompson to be able to stay upright throughout this game?
I believe that you have guys that can win one-on-one battles. I believe Washington can. I think Trey Palmer can. If Vokalek is healthy, I think he can. So because of that, it allows you to max protect, keep the running backs in, keep an extra tight end in if you have to. I would do more than max protect and allow my guys to win one-on-one. But it all comes down to if you can establish the run game against Purdue, you force them come up to try to play the run, which you can get them a little bit with the run if you look at some of the games they've played so far. I think that's the key. You get the run started. That'll protect the offensive line in terms of the pass blocking, and then you work from there.
Michael Severe joining us. Of course, you can hear him on this radio station on Sunday mornings, 8 to 10, and Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media during the week. And on that show, Michael, Jeremiah Searles was your guest, and he said that you have to have the mindset that I'm going to whip your ass on every single play, or you've lost the rep before it begins. But when you watch some of the swinging gate plays where Nebraska basically just allows guys to blow past them and get to the quarterback, is that so much an attitude issue, or is that still communication?
Here's the funny part about that is you could take what Jeremiah Searles said and put it in any profession. Literally in radio, you could be you're a politician, anything you are. You want to whip the other person's ass on every single down, every single day, right? So that's a given. That's what they should be doing. I think the bigger issue is communication and talent. I think talent's still a huge issue. I don't care what their star ratings were when they came in. We've watched them for 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 years. We've seen what they are. A lot of them just aren't very good. They were overrated by the recruiting services. So that's the biggest issue, in my opinion, is really the talent. Then it comes down to communication. We saw that in the sack of the end zone, right, with Chuba Purdy. That was a simple communication issue with the tackle and the running back. When they've had that issue multiple times, the running back knows who he needs to take. The tackle's got to take the other guy. Usually it's the person who is the most danger. That is not what Dienhart did. He chose the nobody. That's who he chose. Not one or two, but nobody. Too many times that's what's happening. So I think it's a communications issue and it's an issue of talent.
Michael, I want to expand on what you said a couple minutes ago about the Purdue rushing defense, because obviously their numbers have been really good this year. They're 17th in terms of yards per game allowed on the ground. They're 13th in yards per carry allowed. So I guess where do you see that weakness that Nebraska would be able to exploit tomorrow night?
First of all, always take out the FCS games, okay? I don't even deal with those anymore. You take those out. It changes a little bit. You see 3.3 is where it is in terms of yards per carry, ranking. Yards per carry, yes, 3.3. And then it's 106 yards a game. You look at some of the games they were in where teams were behind and they had to run. But when teams decided to run, when they had to, Penn State was not a very good running game. When they needed to get yards rushing, they did. When Maryland needed to get some yards rushing, they did. I think you can. Minnesota was interesting because they were without their best player, really, in Abraham. So I don't know about that. But just looking at their metrics, it's funny because their metrics don't equal their overall ratings, right? Their overall rankings. Their metrics are even across the board, 65, 68, 53. They're right in the middle overall. So that's what I look at more than anything else. I watched the entire Minnesota game. I watched the entire Maryland game last week. And of course, I watched the Penn State game as a former Penn State fan. So I watched all of those games. They played their best against Penn State. Maryland should have won that game. Maryland gave the game away. Minnesota, again, was shorthanded in a number of things. But if you look at that game overall, any team could have won that game too. Red zone offense is the number one important thing for Nebraska in this game. If you look at last week, right? Look at the Minnesota game. 7 times they crossed the 50. They got 10 points. 3 of those they got inside the 29-yard line. That can't happen. Maryland, on the other hand, got inside the red zone and for the most part scored points. Now they did have one time where they threw an interception. They had another time where they had a penalty that called something back. Other than that, you get inside the red zone, you have to convert. Now the scary part is Nebraska is only 1 for 4 from field goals. And if you take out, by the way, the FCS, they have not made a field goal, so they're 0%. They're 131st in the country if you go with field goals. But they have to be able to make the field goals if they get stopped, and they got to be able to score touchdowns. If they can do that, they keep the game close. I picked Purdue to win the game. I just don't think Purdue is as good as a lot of people are making them out to be, just based off of watching the games. And then when I get into the metrics and I look at them, I go, I don't think they're that great. And here's the thing. This is a team that when they are an underdog, especially over 7, they have been great under Jeff Brown. We've seen the numbers, right? We've seen the teams they've upset. On the other hand, when they are a favorite, especially a double-digit favorite, they're not as good. In 8 games, they're 3-5 against the spread. 3 of those games they lost outright. And 3 of them, the ones they lost outright, were blowups. They got blown out. So it's a team at home. It's going to be a great atmosphere. But as a big favorite, they've not been as good.
And don't forget, against road teams, double-digit dog. Nebraska's 7-2 against the number in their last 9, and that's basically encompasses the entire Scott Frost era and into a little bit of Mike Riley. So those numbers seem to work in Nebraska's favor. Michael Severe joining us. Is Aiden O'Connell the best quarterback Nebraska's going to see the rest of the way?
That's interesting because so here's the problem with Adrian O'Donnell. My problem with Aiden O'Connell is that he has so many turnover-worthy plays, right? Now, hey, that means sometimes the guy's just going to drop the interception. You had a game in Maryland, first quarter, ball thrown right to the cornerback, bounces through his hands, and the wide receiver catches it. They go on to score. So there's a bunch of those that happen. I look at him and I watch him. He can't move except in the pocket. I mean, if he gets out of the pocket, he can't run. Throws a lot of turnover-worthy kind of throws. Strong arm, veteran, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to where Michigan is when Michigan gets here and who's playing quarterback. Because the combination of those two guys, if they're both healthy, I think is better than Aiden O'Connell. But other than that, I don't know if there's anybody else on the schedule that would scare me as much as he does in the pocket with a clean pocket.
Payne Durham, the guy that worries you most on that side of the ball for Purdue?
I think it's funny because I love the Brock Thompson kid. I loved him as a freshman, and he's hurt. I think Sheffield's a pretty good wide receiver. But, yeah, Payne Durham, especially if Reimers isn't playing. If you don't have a guy who can cover, that puts Gifford in a tough spot to where he's going to have to cover one of the best tight ends in the Big Ten. So I think that's a big issue, sure. Also, running backs coming out of the backfield worry me a little bit. They've done a very good job of doing that. That's a concern. They don't really throw the ball deep. It's pretty much all mid-range. And so Durham is the number one guy. And he's hard to take down. One guy usually is not going to tackle him. He carries a lot of guys. So he certainly is probably the number one guy if they're going to mark off who they have to watch out for.
Well, Michael, and you mentioned Reimer. You have both he and Newsome who are on the questionable list. They're both traveling, which you would think is a good sign because you wouldn't travel someone that you know you're not going to play. But who's needed more based on the matchups if it were an either or, Newsome or Reimer?
So I know Nebraska hasn't been good at getting pressure on the quarterback. I know that. But as bad as Nebraska's tackles are, Purdue's tackles the last 3 or 4 games, at least the ones I watched, aren't very good either. Maryland, it was a turnstile getting back there to O'Connell, making him move. I think Nebraska can get pressure. So they can get pressure. It takes a little bit of the pressure off of having Newsome out there at cornerback spot. Right? You can have a lesser experienced guy at corner in the secondary if you do get pressure. But the middle of the field, that's where Reimer makes so many plays, and he saves you huge plays. He's kind of the Levante David cleaner upper where a guy's going to break free. Reimer makes the tackle. If he doesn't, it's a 25, 30-yard play. So I would say Reimer's number one. Then Vokalek is 2 because what I said about how guys have got – if you look at just go Penn State, go Minnesota, go Maryland, and look at the numbers that have been put up by tight ends. Heck, just last week, Maryland's tight end went off against them. So to have Vokalek or whoever plays tight end to get some yards in the middle of the field is big for Nebraska's offense.
Michael, Purdue, obviously, they don't really want to run the football. Is there a way that Nebraska could work that to the Huskers' advantage by, making them so one-dimensional? Or I guess on the other side, too, is that one of those canary in the coal mine statistics or something to watch for tomorrow where Purdue is able to gash Nebraska on the ground? This thing's going to be over.
See, that's the scary part and this is over the Scott Frost era for whatever reason, and a little bit in Mike Riley, too, where when they would go against a team that couldn't run the ball, all of a sudden that team could run the ball because they got in their head that, this team can't run the ball. They do still have to stop Purdue's attempts at running the ball. They got 3 running backs. All 3 are very average. 2 of them are walk-ons, but one of them has had over a 100-yard game. They figured out something in a couple different games. Obviously, in the Minnesota game, they figured out something. So as long as Nebraska understands they actually do have to stop it, even though this team doesn't run it a lot, even though this team doesn't run it well a lot, if they can figure out that, yes, we have to stop it, and then you stop it, and yes, definitely, you make O'Connell you make the offense more one-dimensional, and you make O'Connell throw more of those turnover-worthy plays.
Michael Severe joining us here as we're breaking down the game tomorrow, Nebraska and Purdue. It was verbalized this week by Mickey Joseph that they're starting to get concerned about the mileage on Anthony Grant. Is it time to give Ramir something?
Oh, it's been time. I mean, I don't know if he's been healthy. That's the thing. Anytime a guy is not in uniform, unless he's transferring, if he's not in uniform, that means he's hurt, right? So we don't know what it was, but he wasn't in uniform. He was on a sideline in shorts and a shirt. So if he's healthy, heck yeah. Everybody should get carries. However healthy Gabe Ervin is, he should get carries. Jock Yant at times. There's plays you run with Yant, okay? We know short yardage with him running straight up as this big target. He's not the guy. But you run some inside zone stuff with him. You get him in a depth, either behind in a pistol or even farther back, and let him get going. He's good there. And then I think Ramir can do a bunch of things for you. If nothing else, swing passes to him out of the backfield like we saw to Grant last week. As good as Grant is, Ramir is bigger threat with the swing pass. So get him the ball out of the backfield, catching some passes. So, yeah, he needs the play. And Grant is taking a lot of punishment. And he's now got PTSD. How many times now there's nobody there and he's making a cut? He's making all this cut on ghosted air because he's been threatened so much by guys coming across the line of scrimmage. So maybe you can fix his head as well by getting some other guys' carries.
Michael, earlier in the red is perhaps the big key in this one. Is there a second or third one? If you were doing a show this morning, what would have been that top 3 for you in terms of the keys for this game?
My number one key would have been Vokalek being healthy and taking advantage of Purdue's weakness against tight ends. My second key would be let them get all the penalties. You don't get the penalties. There's no one more penalized per game than Purdue in the Big Ten in almost the country. It's amazing, over 80 yards a game penalty-wise, which is twice as much as what they had last year. So it's obviously not a systemic problem. All of a sudden, it's a recent problem that they've had. I don't know why. But I just don't have as many penalties as them. Let them make the mistakes. And then the other one would be, obviously, catch the ball when O'Connell throws it to you. You know, they haven't. So they forced 10 turnovers, but 6 of them were in 2 games, and 3 of them were against Indiana State. So I don't really totally count those. They haven't turned the ball over much themselves either. Win the turnover battle, John. We know where that, when I say that, that's a duh. But win the turnover battle, that's a big part of it. And don't get as many penalties. Get the ball to Vokalek if you can, if he's playing. Those are the big things. And, of course, above all, in every game, I will always say it because, in my opinion, it's the number one stat in terms of winning games, and it's scoring points when you get over the other team's 40. Finishing drive rate. I've done this. I went through and I charted all these different teams. The reason why Iowa won so many games over the course of the last 10 years by 7 or less is because of finishing drive rate. So many of these. You got to finish when you get over the 40. And Nebraska hasn't under Scott Frost. They have a little bit better this season. Let's see if they can do that against Purdue.
I admit I haven't seen every or heard every prediction, but it seems like the ones I've heard, there's a lot of people expect a lot of points in this game. I kind of feel like I'm on an island here. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, or at least it's going to come in under the total. What do you think?
I picked 38-20, so I guess I'm kind of right. Yeah,
right
so
on it.
Yeah, so I don't, and that wasn't even me looking at the total either. That was just me kind of going through what I thought of the game. I'm thinking that because if everything works out, if Newsom doesn't play, everything works out for Purdue, Newsom doesn't play, Reimers doesn't play, Vokalek doesn't play, I think it's a 38-20 game. You add one guy in, maybe that closes it. You add all 3 guys in, maybe that changes it. You win the turnover battle, that changes it. It's going to take a lot of things for Nebraska to win this game. I think the best chance they have to win the game, John, is by what you said, low and scoring game. We got to have fewer possessions. Yeah. They have to have the ball longer on drives, keep the ball out of Purdue's hands. And hey, here's another thing. Neither team is good at special teams, right? All the talk about Nebraska being better, they're still ranked 90th on Football Outsiders in special teams, mainly because of the missed field goals. And Purdue's not much better. They're like 70-something around there too. So it is also about winning the turnover battle. Can Nebraska get a positive punt return? We've seen that actually help, right? It helps you get good field position, helps you score games. How about getting a positive punt return, not messing it up in the kickoff return, either fair catching and getting to 25 or maybe getting something more than that, but just not making mistakes in special teams is a big part of this to keep it close.
Hey, I mean, if they're 90th right now on Football Outsiders,
getting close to the cake.
That's 15 spots away from Kelsey's cake. We're getting a cake baked for us if they can finish top 75.
Seriously. Oh, they got 6 more games to get that done. Hey, just make your field goals. They're the biggest problem they're having is differential in punt return. That's where they're lowly rated. And then, of course, field goal kicking, they're lowly rated. If they can fix those 2, they can move right up.
Hey, what do you think happens with the Michigan-Penn State game tomorrow?
So I'm not being a homer at all, okay? I follow the Nebraska football team, I follow the LSU football team, and I follow the Penn State football team. Those 3 I know pretty well. I think Penn State's going to surprise a lot of folks. They haven't had to do a whole lot, just like Michigan hasn't had to do a lot. I do believe that defense for Penn State's going to step up. We saw Michigan against Maryland when they faced an offense who could move the ball. I think Penn State can move the ball a little bit. I think it's a 3-4 point game. I think Penn State might win that outright. I wouldn't mind if I was betting the money line in that game.
That's right. He's not betting anymore.
That's right.
Not betting this season.
He is
not betting this season. Not betting this season.
Now,
I put out some picks, but I don't bet.
He's not doing fantasy. He's
not doing fantasy football. Yep. And I did play. I have been playing a little bit of daily fantasy because they gave us that. They gave you that free money. So I've been kind of playing that a little bit just to kind of mess around, but that's about it.
That's it. You know, I forgot we were supposed to give our 4-quarter pick'em picks because, we're doing 4-quarter pick'em again.
Did you not do yours?
I did mine.
Okay, yeah.
I did mine. I don't have any of those games. I do have Nebraska plus the 13.5 in my 4.
Oh, wow.
I think they'll cover. I think
it's a good bet because if we're just going to go trends, again, they're playing a team that hasn't been good as a double-digit favorite. You mentioned what Nebraska's been as a double-digit dog. The one thing, though, it's hard to judge is how well they do play at home in front of that crowd when it's rocking. Remember, they start drinking before, and they continue to drink because they can drink in the stadium. So they stay loud. They get there, they stay loud, and they keep getting louder as it goes along. So that's certainly a concern. But it's all about, you guys were talking about when I came on, I have never seen an offensive line this bad, like at any level. I watched Central play Elkhorn South 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's close, okay? It's that bad for Nebraska's offensive line. It is that bad. You don't want to talk about anybody bad and behind their back, but there are times where you watch them and you just think to yourself, are you doing this on purpose? Are you making these mistakes on purpose? Do you not like Casey Thompson? Do you have something against him? That's what it feels like at times. I'm like, do you turn around and go pick him up and go, ha, jerk? I mean, what are you doing? It's bad. So that's obviously a key to this whole thing. But maybe some of the moves will make a difference for them. They got to recruit better. And think about what they had from I'm not even talking about the glory years. Think about what they had from 05 Callahan's recruiting classes through maybe 2013. How many of those guys at least got cups of coffee in the NFL or Spencer Long was a 3rd round pick or whoever else? Look at some of those guys. They got nobody now. I don't think they even have an undrafted free agent on the roster, which is incredible to think about when you have 19 scholarship offensive linemen and none of them are an undrafted free agent. It's some guys are hurt. Prohaska might be one, maybe Noelle is. Yeah. But nobody playing right now is even close to being one, and that's kind of sad.
Now, if those
they won some battles for these guys too.
I know. Dienhart was a battle.
Yeah,
all of them were. Now, those watching in the stream can see that Michael's his super says Blaxploitation brother. We were going to do this if we could find it.
Yeah,
we don't have Kent this week because Kent's out. He's doing the celebration of life for Tom Lorenz, the longtime manager at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But we were going to watch Blackula, which is, by the way, 50 years old this year.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this is one of the Blaxploitation 1970s films. I'm trying to remember if I've seen it. I know I've seen a couple of those films, but I can't remember if I've seen it.
Hey, Josh, can you do Elkant? Can you just say what the movie is and then ask me ask me something and then I'll ask you a question, okay?
Hey, Michael, you remember in Blackula when the character was like Dracula but black?
Well, let me ask you this. Is Vanetta Mcgee naked in the movie? That's all I want to know. Is she naked? Because she is one of the most attractive women in the history of the 1970s. Is she naked? That's all I want to know, Kim. Yeah. No, I mean, it's a fun movie. When we talk about this era, and it's a rough era, right? I mean, I luckily got a chance to watch a lot of these movies with my mom when I was growing up, and they're not bad movies. And we don't feel sorry because they put African Americans movies because they weren't putting them in anything for a long time. Right. So at least they got to be in something, even though a lot of them were very bad. But the star of this movie, the guy who plays Blackula, who plays Dracula in this movie, was a guy that actually got he was part of the Communist Party. So he got completely blacklisted for a number of years of his career. But at the same time, he worked under a different name for a long time. And this was kind of his bounce back where he got this role. He was in Benson at the end of his career. This is a guy who was on – you watched a lot of Star Trek, didn't you, John? Yeah. The original? Yeah. He was on Star Trek. He was the ultimate computer. Very tall African-American man, about 6'5". He played the ultimate computer on Star Trek. So he had a really interesting career despite being blacklisted. And this movie is fun. It's a couple of brothers that decide they want to decorate their apartment with a coffin. So they buy a coffin off of back then, whatever Craigslist was, right? And they get the thing and, oh no, Dracula's inside the coffin. When you buy the coffin, we get a bonus. And then, of course, he goes on to kill a lot of people. Vanetta Mcgee, who is, again, very attractive, is the cab driver. She hits him. She gets out. He bites her. She becomes a vampire as well. It's a fun movie. They kind of tried to remake it a little bit with Eddie Murphy, kind of similar storyline when they made Eddie Murphy into the Dracula character. I can't remember the name of the movie was, but kind of similar to that. But it's a fun movie and it's a great time. I mean, if you look at Three the Hard Way, or you look at a Blackula movie, or if you look at Let's Do It Again, or those kind of movies, they were incredible because they had entire black cast. They had a lot of them had black people working on it in terms of behind the scenes and stuff. It gave people who didn't have jobs. And so as much as that era wasn't necessarily politically correct, it was a fun era to look back on in terms of the movies that ended up getting made out of it.
Well, hopefully, and I know you can rent it on Amazon Prime.
And if you have Paramount Plus, I have Paramount Plus. And so if you have Paramount Plus, you get it.
Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus is where I'm pretty sure is where I saw it, where it's not, you don't have to pay for it. We're already paying for Paramount Plus. So you get it for that with that. Yeah.
Oh, well, we could have watched it on that. We all have Paramount Plus.
By the way, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Thank you. Yeah. So that was kind of a riff off of Blackula. Not as fun because they didn't allow Eddie Murphy to be funny at all in that movie, which is silly. If Eddie Murphy will let him be funny. But this Blackula had some funny moments in it for sure and a really good cast. Did I mention Vanetta Mcgee? She's in it as well. Google her.
Everyone Google.
Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Yes.
All right. You can catch Michael this weekend, 8 to 10 on Severe Reaction. And, of course, next week on Big Red Rep on Nebraska Public Media.
I've never done three big red wrap-ups in a row from wins. Since I've been hosting the show, I've never done 3 in a row wins.
3-game winning streak.
Exactly. So this would be the first time. If they could beat Purdue, it'd be the first time since I've been doing Big Red Wrap-Up that we had 3 wins in a row.
I don't think they've had 3 wins in a row for Big Red Wrap-Up since Don Gill was hosting that show.
Yeah, I don't know who Don Gill is, but I remember a guy named Kevin Kugler, and I believe Kevin Kugler did some fine years on that show where Nebraska played pretty well.
Bill Callahan era, fine year.
Bill Callahan era.
Well, even Mike Riley, right? He was the guy doing 2016, so he did the 7-0.
That's true.
Yep, he was doing the 7-0, and it should have been 8-0.
Mike Riley started 7-0.
Never forget that. Never forget Mike Riley.
I'm not going to. Let's see. Quick poll update.
Michael, is he voting for more of his accounts?
I've already all my accounts. I've expended them.
Mike Leach is gaining a little bit. It's 51.8% for Urban Meyer. Get
right.
out there and vote for Mike Leach.
You can't lose this. You can't lose this. If Mike Leach is the head coach, it's going to be great for one reason. If Urban Meyer's the head coach, it's wins. So that's good too.
It'll be great for the night before. It's just a few short blocks away from campus. Michael Severe, have a good one. Thanks. Great to see you.
Bye, Michael.
Bye-bye, Josh.
Bye,
John.
Michael Severe joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. We are live at Backswing Brewery, 129th and Maple. Come on by, and don't forget, me plus you equals nighttime fun.
Yeah, Marissa, who is tuning in, says Michael to Vanetta Mcgee in Blackula. Me plus you equals nighttime fun.
Told you it was going to be a fun show today. It is 2-2 in the. Is that the 8th inning, Alex? Thank you. My eyes are starting to work a little bit.
Call my
better.
friends at Kugler Vision is what you need to do there.
I
John.
probably should.
I
probably should. By the way, 4-quarter pick'em is back, folks. Your chance to pick 4 games, college or pro, against the spread. And if you hit all 4, you win $1,620. First thing you have to do is qualify. Listen for your chance to qualify once per show, 7A or 6A to 6P. I almost said 7A to 6P.
What are those, the old days?
Those
at
are the
7
old
a.m.
days.
At
Those-
7 a.m. At
those are the
7
old
a.m.
days.
At
Yeah.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
At 7 a.m.
But once per show. Plus, there's other ways to qualify online at 1620thezone.com and be listening for your chance to qualify during this program today.
Nice.
Right here on 1620 The Zone. Back to Backswing on this One Beer Friday on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
I am playing the Steelers in a league. My friends and I are in.
Garbage.
I brought back the steel wall, boys.
Steel wall?
Yeah, that's what they called the Steelers
Steel-
defense in the 70s.
Nope, not the steel
Not
wall.
the steel
Try
wall.
again.
Steel curtain.
Steel curtain.
There you go.
God.
Steel wall.
That was the Walmart version.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Clear skies will continue to trend for the area as we approach sunset and beyond. Meanwhile, temperatures will cool from the 50s all the way into the upper 30s around daybreak Saturday. About Saturday afternoon, I'm tracking a lot of sunshine, breezy conditions, a high temperature of 70 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Visit Sid Dillon Chevrolet to shop inventory or to order your new vehicle. And we're your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
When it comes to cement fiber siding, you want durability, hail and chip resistance, and beauty. You want James Hardie cement fiber siding. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Call Carp's today or visit carpsomaha.com.
Genesis Health Club's is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you're invited. Join for just 36 cents and get the rest of the year for free. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs, thanking you for the last 36 years. Without you, we wouldn't be here, and we're here for your results. We're here to help you feel better, look better, and have more energy, and be able to enjoy all life has to offer by improving your health. Celebrate Genesis Health Club's 36th anniversary by joining today for just 36 cents and get the rest of the year for free. One day left. That's 36 years of results, 36 years of better mood, concentration, and focus, 36 years of crushed goals, 36 years of mental and physical strength, 36 years of members achieving their absolute best, and now it's your turn. So get fit, have fun, and celebrate 36 years with us. Join Genesis Health Clubs for just 36 cents and the rest of the year for free. Hurry, just one day left. Find your fitness home at genesishealthclubs.com.
Rotella's Italian Breads and Bakery. Tradition and quality at its finest. Over 100 years serving the community with high-quality products. Make sure you have all of your hot dog buns, hamburger buns, brat buns, and breads galore for your tailgating parties and everyday needs. Stop into our bakery on 108th and Harrison or find us at your nearest grocery store. Rotella's Italian Bread. Over 100 years of tradition.
If you are looking for a better college fit or have completed a 2-year degree at a community college, transfer those credits to College of St. Mary and finish your degree faster. We've made transferring easier than ever. With our 2-week transfer evaluation, you'll know your credit transferability and financial aid package to College of St. Mary in just 2 weeks. And we'll help you determine all scholarships or grants available to you. Take the next step to completing your degree faster. Transfer to College of St. Mary. Apply today at csm.edu.
Get ready for the scare of a lifetime, because Madness Haunted House is back once again. Seek the thrills and horror at the new location at Pioneer Trail Orchard. Over 2 acres and 30 minutes of quality screams and fear. Madness Haunted House, the haunt that wouldn't die.
The big box stores have a secret. When you walk out the door with a new purchase, that's where the service ends. At Ty's Outdoor Power and Service, you get great deals on brands like Hustler, Toro, Honda, and Steel. Plus, you get a dedicated, experienced service center. With annual maintenance and repairs, your equipment will last longer and perform when you need it most. See us in Lincoln, Omaha, or Gretna and get 10% off your residential service. Visit TysOutdoorPower.com, promo code radio, or mention radio to redeem.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
What happened to the days where a man was proud of his dick?
The 1620. The Zone.
Welcome back to Backswing Brewery, their hometown bar at 129th and Maple. We're watching some baseball. Cleveland just got out of a bases-loaded jam in the 8th, so it's 2-2 there. The Braves game will be starting soon. So if you want to come out, watch some live sports. And by the way, here at Backswing, they have Sunday ticket.
Nice.
So you can come. You can try any of their 12 beers that are on tap or whatever you want to enjoy. Kick back. They got a fireplace. Just have a great time. It's like being at your neighborhood bar. It's just got a bit of a modern twist. Really nice atmosphere here. Nice and open. Very clean. Very clean. And they got golden tea over here too.
Oh, nice. Scott Frost might stop by.
Scott Frost may stop by.
Mike in Columbus, Ohio says, got a good one for dumb debates, fellas, but since this is timely, John, I'm just going to ask you.
Sure.
Now. I have a daughter who is a graduate of Purdue, and of course, myself being a diehard Husker fan, who do you root for? The school in Purdue that pays the bills or the school I've rooted for since I was a kid? So well, they pay the bills like she had a scholarship?
Must be.
I mean, are you asking who she should root for? I mean, she can do whatever she wants. You root for the Big Red.
Well,
I root for Nebraska. That's awesome that she doesn't have to pay loans. That's awesome. Very cool.
Or I mean, and either way, you can be happy for both teams.
There you go. Yeah, you can wear one of those half shirt things.
You could.
Yeah, wear one of the half shirt things.
But yeah, root for the team that you've always rooted for.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
It's not that tough. Mm-hmm. It's really not that tough. Mickey Joseph and how things are going could determine whether or not he ends up being the permanent head coach. A lot of people are already thinking that way right now. But, there's another name out there, another ex-Husker who's been doing some good things in the coaching realm and is a head coach right now. Mike Minner, head coach of your Campbell Camels, FCS.
Yeah, remember, was it last year that they had the game against the guy who doesn't punt and they dominated him?
Oh, they crushed him because that strategy is ridiculous.
Wow.
But he was subject of an article on Football Scoop today about his recruiting classes. He has been really killing it on the recruiting trail. And by the way, in not this week, but next week, he's going to be taking on Jackson State. Home of Coach Prime. Coach Prime. But it's interesting, Mike Minner, we haven't really talked about him very much. I'm surprised his name hasn't come up for other jobs.
For other jobs as in, like,
maybe
making
not
the jump up?
Yeah, making the jump up. And I'll be curious to see if that's something he's interested in doing, if he's looking to make the jump up. But, we talk about other things that thank you.
Ha! Awesome.
Yes.
Hey, Freed Yo, what's going on, man?
Hey,
good to
Freed
see
Yo,
ya.
our friend on Twitter, just brought Josh a whole bunch of
bevy
golf
of
balls
golf
that he
balls.
found on the course.
Oh, you love
You
to
didn't have
see
to
it.
dive into the pond for those, did you? Try to stay out of the water.
Yeah, good.
Oh, God, no.
Don't do that.
Don't be putting mowers in the water. There you go. You got a whole bag of
Nice.
balls.
We got some good ones. Got a little Pro V1 action here. Hey.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, half of them are Pro V1s. Let's go. Thank you, Freed Yo. Hey, thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. Hey, thank you.
You
Thank
bet.
you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Freed Yo.
Awesome.
Coming in and treating us here. Of course, we're right next to Eagle Run here.
Uh-huh.
But I will be curious to see here over the next couple of years if Mike Minner starts to get sniffs for bigger jobs.
Yeah,
if
for
he
sure.
continues to have some success, and if he's recruiting like he is right now, who knows? Maybe 5 years from now when Nebraska's next coaching search has to happen.
Wow, on average.
Well, on average, that's what it's been.
Yeah,
if Mike Minner might be one of those names.
It's a great point, a great question. I know that at some point over the last couple of weeks, there was a tweet about Lance Leipold, essentially like, why don't big schools take risks like this more often? Leipold coached at the low level for so many years, finally got the bump up to Buffalo, had success at Buffalo. Now, of course, is having success at Kansas. But so often these schools are looking for the quote-unquote the sexy hires. Scott Frost was an example of that. And look, it works. Sexy hires can work.
Yes.
Urban Meyer was a sexy hire at all of his jobs. He worked. Sometimes it doesn't work, though. But I think of a Lance Leipold, a Jim Tressel. Would a school dare jump down that far to try to bring a coach up and succeed at their level? It's a really interesting question.
By the way, Nebraska's looking for offensive linemen. They might be able to get one from Wisconsin. Logan Brown, who is one of the highest rated offensive line recruits, has been dismissed from the Badgers team over an internal incident, according to interim coach Jim Leonard. He's a former four-star player. He was the number 15 overall prospect by ESPN's rankings in the 2019 class. He had started 2 games at right tackle, 1 at left, and hasn't played since. And my guess is when you say internal incident, I'm guessing he may have had a disagreement with his coach over playing time. But there's someone who might have some ability to look for in the transfer portal next year. And who knows, maybe Nebraska's going to need some help there. I mean, you heard it from Michael, and he's right. You got to have better talent.
It's incredible.
You got to have better talent there. Even though Nebraska has seemingly recruited well on the offensive line, I still think part of it is in the development side. I still think that Nebraska needs to do a better job with the raw materials they
have this many misses that are highly sought after, John.
And Josh, this is why, and I'm not saying that the problems this year on the offensive line are because of Donovan Raiola. Okay? These were problems that were building since before he got here.
Correct.
But the mistake in making the hire of Donovan Raiola was you hired someone who wasn't experienced enough to fix those problems from the beginning. if you would have had a more veteran offensive line coach hired back in December, January, whenever Raiola came on board, you might have been able to mitigate some of these problems today. That's the fatal flaw. It's not saying that Donovan Raiola can't be a good offensive line coach, but in a program like this, if you're going to be a development school, you can't also be developing your offensive line coach at the same time.
Yeah.
You need a teacher with experience. And that was the fatal mistake. So it's not to blame. The problems of this year are not on the shoulders squarely of Donovan Raiola. He was put in a bad spot, and it was a terrible decision in the moment. And now, it sounds like at least the scuttlebutt behind the scenes is maybe he and Whips haven't been seeing eye to eye. Well, that was the other problem, the other mistake that you made. You hire an offensive coordinator. Why wouldn't that offensive coordinator be involved in the hiring of the line coach and the other groups that you wanted to counsel?
Probably because you brought in the offensive line coach because his nephew is a really good quarterback.
Well, you did that. Plus, you brought in somebody who did what Scott Frost wanted to do, and that is get downhill, whereas Mark Whipple has been historically more of a pass-first offensive coordinator. So the whole thing was fouled up, and that's just part of the equation as to why Nebraska's offensive line has looked as they have over these first 6 games.
Obviously, we're most interested in who's going to be the next head coach. I can't wait to see what that person does with the offensive line position. And
please hire experience.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not going to pretend like I know the names of all the good offensive line coaches in the country because that would be a lie. I'd say the same thing about a good offensive coordinator, most good offensive coordinators, most good defensive coordinators. I'm going to have to do a little research when they get hired. That's the thing, though. I think that you can figure out who is good a lot based just off of their resume. And so that's what I want to see. I want to see an offensive line coach. Really, John, I want to see all the new coaches with some solid resumes of some big-time schools with some victories to point to, whether it's on the recruiting trail or in terms of development with their current players or former players at their universities.
We are live at Backswing Brewery. The sun is coming out, and look at the beautiful fall colors outside. The browns, the oranges, the greens. It's beautiful. Come on by and say hi. We've got plenty of ice-cold beer. They've got 12 different beers on tap. Of course, we're here as part of our partnership with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. One Beer Friday coming up. But for you, you can start your One Beer Friday right here at Backswing. Watch some baseball. Just enjoy some great company. And
us.
Oh, and us. And come get your 1620 The Zone stickers, too.
The massive stickers.
We also have some Drink Local Nebraska stickers, I see. And we have Drink Local. And these cards are...
If you, it has a, what are they called? The QR codes, right? On there.
It's got the QR code, so you scan the QR codes, and you can find out more about signing the petition and making our craft brewing industry even stronger in this state, and where you can find some great craft brews, not only here in Omaha, but wherever you are across Nebraska.
Indeed.
A lot of great beers in this state, and we look forward to trying them all. Maybe not all of them today here at Backswing, but we'll definitely get one or maybe two in.
Nice. I love it.
By the way, update on the poll, Urban Meyer, 51.7%.
Come on.
Let's get Mike Leach in the lead.
Come on.
Let's get Mike Leach in the lead. All right, more to come, including Tom Dienhart from Gold and Black Review, goldandblack.com, as we preview the Purdue side of this matchup. Our predictions, our keys to the game are also still coming up. But I just was able to turn the keys in, or the key fob, because they don't use keys anymore, on that brand new Ford F-150 from Woodhouse Ford. Man, I had a blast in this truck. It's such a great utilitarian vehicle. You can plug your stuff into the back. There's outlets in the back and in the cab. Of course, you've got the trailering power. You've got the EcoBoost engine, which gives you both fuel economy and power for days to tow or haul whatever it is you need to haul. And you can custom order your new 2023 Ford F-150 with Woodhouse because it offers you the ability to use their size and volume to your advantage. The allocation from Ford sets Woodhouse apart by offering you the ability to get your new Ford vehicle scheduled and built in a timely manner. Plus, when you custom order your new 23 Ford F-150 with Woodhouse, you'll save. Receive up to $3,000 off MSRP on select 2023 Ford F-150 orders and lock in 2.9% APR for up to 60 months with approved credit when you place your order with a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Omaha, Blair, Plattsmouth. Got a trade? Woodhouse has even more savings when you order by providing an additional $1,000 off MSRP for a 2010 or newer trade-in. Bigger is better, and Woodhouse is the dealer to choose when it comes to custom ordering your new 2023 Ford F-150. To learn more and start your order, visit WoodhouseFord.com today. Woodhouse Ford, Omaha, Blair, Plattsmouth.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620, The Zone.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Dan Thompson of Thompson & Thompson, third generation roofing, siding, gutters, and more, where they're celebrating 25 years of business.
Thank you, Omaha, and all the communities around for putting your trust in us for 25 years. Integrity is what our customers like about us, and they know they can trust us to protect their home and make it look great. Call Thompson & Thompson, third generation today, and become one of the thousands of customers who are glad they did. Or click ThompsonThird.com.
Dallas Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. New this year is Stefan's Country Drive. Antique cars where the kids are in the driver's seat. Plus, there's a new carousel. Dallas Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is also opening a whole new part of the farm, the cider mill, with more than 50 other attractions included with admission. Dallas Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard is the place to be this fall. Dallas Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard, Gretna, Nebraska. Now open through October 31st.
If you love food, love fun, love fall, you'll love Dallas Pumpkin Patch best of all.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Guys, want an effective, affordable way to get ED medication 100% online? Whether you're looking for Viagra or Cialis, or generic medications as effective as Viagra but 90% cheaper, you can find it all through HIMS. HIMS is your go-to for doctor-trusted treatments to help you treat ED. Get ED treatment for as low as $3 per use and save up to $1,000 per month with generic for Viagra versus the brand name at 4hims.com/radio. If prescribed, your medication will be shipped to your door in discreet packaging. Do it all online. No in-person appointments. Get hard results with HIMS or your money back. Go to 4hims.com/radio to get your first visit free. That's 4hims.com/radio to get started free. forhims.com/radio.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
offensive line conversation, but before that, I laughed at this tweet from Bring That Trophy Back to Lincoln on Twitter. Says, I'm just going to read it verbatim. In honor of my man Michael Effin Myers tonight, I'm sipping on New Belgium Voodoo Ranger for hashtag One Beer Friday. May the Juice Force IPA be with you all. Michael has come home for the last time, folks. Knife emoji. So I just want that out there because you all refer to me as the pro-murder person.
Right.
Maybe it's Bring That Trophy Back to Lincoln.
Yeah, that movie, Halloween Ends, starts streaming today on Peacock, and that will be our movie club selection in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Next week, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So no movie club this week. Kent is off. He is hosting the celebration of life for Tom Lorenz, the longtime manager of Pinnacle Bank Arena, who passed away last week. So no movie club this week, but next week, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is streaming where?
It was, I believe, on HBO Max.
HBO Max?
Yeah. Okay. Let me check. Paramount Plus.
Right.
Some responses. A tweet and then an email. First, a tweet. JTech Instructions on Twitter feed. Brad, I get that it's not all on Raiola, but I had to listen to Sip all offseason say he was the greatest to never do it. Hadn't actually done the job before. Yeah, look, I love Sip. That was definitely an opinion throughout the offseason. I never agreed with him on. You and I never agreed with him on. And sadly, we have been shown to be right. And here's an actual question for Max. He says, maybe we couldn't get anyone better as O-line coach. Otherwise, you would have to think they would have hired someone with more experience to fix this, right? Perhaps the coaches saw this as a huge project on the offensive line and wanted nothing to do with it. I think that is a fair question to wonder about. Personally, I am not going to give Scott Frost the benefit of the doubt at all. He
doesn't deserve it.
There's no way that the best he could have done was a person who had never been a full-time offensive line coach
at a Power 5 school, which has a legacy of offensive line building, recruiting, talent, the money that they could pay. You're telling me that let's be not cynical, because we all know why Donovan Raiola ended up being the guy, right?
And it's not because he taught guys how to fire off the ball.
But let's move that off the plate. Just from an offensive line perspective, Nebraska should be able to go out and get a top 20 offensive line coach, right?
Yeah.
However you determine the top 20 offensive line coaches in the country in college
to pay him
football.
$1 million. Donovan Raiola, is he not now he's the lowest paid member of the full-time coaching staff,
I believe
if I
so.
remember right.
Yeah.
They could have doubled his salary.
They went on the cheap.
Yeah.
They went on the cheap at a position that has been basically a thorn in Nebraska's side for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Where they haven't been as good. That was the one spot that I thought they absolutely had to ace.
Remember,
not offensive coordinator. They needed to ace this one.
I remember Tom
and they shot low.
Tom Chattel wrote a column last offseason, because we debated it. It was probably in December, and he essentially said, look, the most important spot is actually not OC, it's offensive line coach.
Yes, and he was right.
And if you agree, if anyone agrees with that hypothesis, then they failed the most important hire that they could have made. So no, Max, I understand that. And look, maybe they couldn't have hired whoever they want as the best version. They definitely could have settled for somebody much better though than Donovan Raiola. I think there is a problem though that he can't control, and that is the roster that he inherited, the position group that he inherited.
Yeah, and this is not to say all of these problems are on him, because they're not.
But he hasn't helped.
But he hasn't helped because he was underqualified. He was grossly underqualified for the situation at hand, not just in the talent that Nebraska had or doesn't have, but also just from the stature of why would you treat a Power 5 offensive line coach like an introductory position, like a glorified internship? Why would you do that? Donovan Raiola could end up being a really good offensive line coach.
Yeah.
But he had never done it before at this level. And it was just it was such a bad decision.
Yeah, it
was such a bad decision. And again, that's not to say that Raiola can't be that person, but you need to bring in somebody who's been there, done that before, not somebody who's on the job training.
Text message from the 402 says, if the rumors are true, then why would Donovan Raiola even come to Nebraska? Because he got a promotion. He got a huge promotion. He got
he got to skip a couple of steps in the rungs up the ladder to being a Power 5 offensive line coach.
Look, you could ask this question about all of the guys who decided to jump on this ship that is sinking. But
you almost said something else.
I did. I was very close. But like, look, these people believe in themselves. They believe in themselves and their ability to
Sure they do.
to help turn something around. You know, I'm guessing that not everybody knew how truly awful things were inside the walls at Memorial Stadium. But for Raiola, it's an easy yes. I'm going from assistant to the offensive line coach to
I'm the assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah, and now you're a full-time position coach in college. Of course, that's a huge promotion. I don't know what he's
and
getting
sure,
paid.
there was the ties. You know, he played in the Big Ten. He's familiar with the Big Ten, and his brother played here. So that, of course, I'm not faulting Raiola for taking the job. Of course not.
No.
And you're right. Anyone in that spot, if they believe in their abilities, is going to be able to do it. I'm just saying Nebraska aimed far too low for the task at hand and for the legacy of the job and what it means to this place. And what, if Nebraska is going to be, heck, if any football program is going to be successful, you better be good up front. Because if you're not good up front, it's not going to matter. Great offensive line play masks problems or elsewhere on your team.
Yeah.
You can overcome a below average quarterback if you have a great offensive line. You can overcome a so-so running back if you have a great offensive line. Heck, you can even mask problems on your defense because you can lean on your offensive line to grind out drives and shorten games and keep your beleaguered defense off the field. A great offensive line does so much for a program, and the place that understood that the most was Nebraska for the longest time.
Yeah.
And they've lost their way. And then, you know, by doing what they did this past year, it showed me that there wasn't a priority on that position.
Yeah.
And now
Brian
you're
says
reaping what you sow.
They wanted his relative at quarterback, and that is
yes, that's the real reason.
Yeah.
But I've had people come back on me on Twitter and said, well, that was a chance worth taking. No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't care if it guaranteed you, if Nebraska, let's say, went with, you know, offensive line coach X with 10 years of Power 5 coaching experience and was good. And that meant you'll never get Dylan Raiola. My answer would have been hire that offensive line coach because it's bigger than just going out and recruiting a 5-star quarterback. Because guess what? That 5-star quarterback is going to be playing at a school where they have great offensive line play. You put that 5-star quarterback in a situation where they don't have great offensive line play, he ain't a 5-star quarterback anymore.
Two more things. Dylan Raiola is not going to graduate high school until the 2024 class, so he's not even a guy who would have been playing in college next year. He's a 2024 guy.
Right.
And the other thing, too, perhaps the reason that they actually lost his commitment was, again, the head coach, and not because they had his uncle as an offensive line coach.
Ding, ding.
True.
Don't overfill yourself on margaritas. Instead, come to Backswing.
Nice. Drink responsibly.
And have one of their 12 delicious selections on tap, or come over and grab a 6-pack for the weekend out of their cooler. Yes, and they just got the red ale in.
Oh, nice.
The red ale, they got it in
They
from
got merch over there.
They got merch, they got everything. So come on by, say hi. 129th and Maple, South Side, across the street from Super Target and Raising Cane's. Come on in, have a beer, enjoy some baseball and more with us on a One Beer Friday. Tom Dienhart coming up next from goldandblack.com, the rival site covering Purdue. We'll get a preview of the Boilermakers, and also still to come, preview of a great weekend of college football. So come on back and have a One Beer Friday with us at Backswing, 129th and Maple on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. We are not that far away from the golf course right now. Just a couple miles to the north, about a mile to the west is where we sit. Is a perfect place to go after a great round of golf. And there are now 8 spots left for their fall scramble. It is coming up a week from Sunday. That means that we are now 9 days away from their fall 4-person scramble. Head to the website, miraclehillgolf.com/store now and get signed up. I was talking to Phil, the GM, earlier today, hoping, of course, for some more great weather. But, friends, this might be it for scramble season. So if you maybe missed out on what they did for Memorial Day, you missed out on Independence Day, this might be the last great weather day to have one of these scrambles. You do not want to miss it. Sunday, October the 23rd, only $300 for you and 3 others. 11 a.m. shotgun start, golf, cart, tee gift. You'll get fed prizes and a whole lot more, and always have the number ready, 402-498-0220. Book lessons. Get fitted for clubs, especially ahead of next year. You want some good new clubs to kick off that 2023 golf season. No better place to do so than with the team there at Miracle Hill. 402-498-0220. They are located just north of Dodge on 120th Street. Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. We've got a disabled vehicle on 50th and Leavenworth. JFK northbound is looking stop and go already. I drove on JFK earlier today. It is miserable. I feel for you guys. 80 and 680 are all clear. West Center and Dodge both have construction. My name's Conrad. This has been your afternoon traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Romeo's Mexican Food and Pizza.
Enjoy Romeo's Grande Pizza and Taco Combo. 1 large 2-topping pizza, 4 soft-shell tacos, chips, and queso dip for only $29.99. Only at Romeo's. Carry out only.
Romeo's Mexican Food and Pizza. Not your typical restaurant.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. It's the perfect time to download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook. Why is it the perfect time? Because we got Bills at Chiefs coming up this weekend, and you can get started today with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Should be a phenomenal matchup as Buffalo travels to Kansas City. In a game like this, John, I just want to bet on the over so I can root for lots of points.
And if you use our promo code 1620, you can get some free bets back if that first bet doesn't win. And that betting includes live betting. So maybe there's a team making a comeback. You can grab a team on the live line and you can start piling up wins, even if you don't bet at kickoff. Don't fumble this chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, using our promo code 1620. 21 plus in President, Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Every Friday, we bring you discounts to some of your favorite businesses in Omaha. Well, we decided that one deal a week just wasn't enough. Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com. This weekend's deal is to Rib Shack Smokehouse, 108th and Q. Get 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25 to Rib Shack Smokehouse. Rib Shack is known for its southern taste of down-home soul food and barbecue. The slow-cooked St. Louis ribs, smoked wings, collard greens, and mac and cheese just keeps the crowd coming in. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha hockey team hits the road for the first time this season when they head to Lake Superior State this weekend. Pre-game is at 5:30 tonight. Puck drops at 6:07. It's UNO at Lake Superior State on your new home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Welcome back to Unsportsmanlike Conduct as we get ready for what have I been saying all week? First place battle.
Let's go!
In the Big Ten West, Nebraska and Purdue Saturday night on BTN. And our guy to talk all things Purdue is Tom Dienhart with goldenblack.com, member of the Rivals Network. Tom, thanks for joining us. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
Is everyone in West Lafayette as excited as they are in Lincoln about a first-place battle 3 weeks into the conference season?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? You got to give Nebraska credit, for rallying after the coaching change, obviously, and getting the wins the last 2 weeks. So they're going to come to town with a lot of momentum. Of course, Purdue has won 3 games in a row. The last 2 as underdogs on the road, so they're feeling pretty good about themselves as well. And, of course, Illinois is high at the top of the standings, too, with the Huskers and the Boilermakers. So long story short, this entire Big Ten West, guys, as you guys are very familiar with, it looks like it's going to be a real wide-open battle. And this game Saturday at Ross-Ade Stadium is going to go a long way, obviously, towards shaping that race.
Tom, before we get into the matchup a little bit more, I'm curious, who would you make as the Big Ten West favorite right now, about halfway through the month of October?
I guess I'm leaning toward Illinois, maybe a little bit begrudgingly. They're 5-1. I know their one loss was to Indiana, but it was kind of a controversial loss the first game of the year. They played pretty well up to this point. I think they're 5-1. Some questions this week at quarterback. Tommy DeVito getting injured. Of course, Minnesota's coming to Champaign. That's going to be a big game. So I guess I'm leaning slightly to the Illini, but or I could be convinced to buy, still Wisconsin even. I'm not going to start shoving dirt on the Badgers just yet. Of course, Purdue, I think, has a good chance. I'm not sure about Iowa at this point with all their troubles on offense. And then, of course, there's Nebraska. I guess I'm still holding out a little bit of reservation on how good those guys are. They beat Rutgers and Indiana. Getting a win is a win, but again, I guess I want to see a little bit more of the Cornhuskers before I really consider them a serious contender, obviously.
Tom Dienhart covering Purdue for goldenblack.com, joining us on the Les Hills Harley-Davidson hotline. Purdue is a score away in 2 different games from being 6-0, but they're also 2 two-point conversion stops away from maybe being 1-5. What is the best way to describe the first half of Purdue's season?
Yeah, just a little bit of topsy-turvy here and there. You're right. There's 64 seconds from being unbeaten. Penn State scored the winning touchdown with 57 seconds to go in the season opener in West Lafayette. Later that month, they lost at Syracuse when Ewing scored a touchdown with 7 seconds to go. So just sort of gut punch losses. Penalties that were an issue in those games, some sloppy tackling. And then, of course, Aiden O'Connell got hurt in the Syracuse game. And he's still just about rounding back to his normal form, guys. He missed the Florida Atlantic game. Wasn't himself in Minnesota. Looked a lot better last week at Maryland. So I think with another week under his belt, he should be more back to normal. So, again, it's just been a mix of excitement and depression for Purdue those first 6 weeks. I think they have to still feel good about themselves to be 4-2, not have their spirit crushed by a couple tough losses, being able to get over the injury to Aiden O'Connell. And also, guys, they played 4 games without the best defensive player, Jalen Graham. He got hurt in the opener. He finally came back last week at Maryland, really good. So they've had to overcome some injury issues as well. 2 prominent players to get to this point.
Well, on that subject, Tom, Graham is back, but it sounds like Chris Jefferson, safety, might be out this week. So how does it look in the back half of the defense for Saturday?
Yeah, it's always something, isn't it? There's injuries and other issues. Every team's dealing with stuff, right? Everybody wants to feel sorry for them, right? But everybody's got issues. You know what? Chris Jefferson, he didn't start last week. He only played 10 snaps. He is the key guy back there at the trust, so obviously you'd like to have him back there. But by and large, the back end should be pretty healthy with their cornerbacks. You got 3 guys you're comfortable playing. One's probably an NFL player, Corey Trice. Watch number 23. A couple active safeties. Cam Allen's probably the best guy back there, number 10. So they have the breakdowns, I'll be honest with you. They can get beat. But Purdue really commits to trying to stop the run, and that leaves those guys on an island a lot of the times. And it's tough to hold up a man coverage, reading zone. You're going to get beat, right? But, again, the story about the defense has been the run defense. They're giving up 97 yards a game. No running back has rushed for 100 yards yet on them. And there's only been 1 run over 20 yards against Purdue in 6 games this year. So they're doing really good with their run fits, and they want to make you one-dimensional. Here comes Anthony Grant, the latest challenge. So it'll be fun to watch the chess match between the Nebraska ground game and the Purdue defense has been pretty good against the run.
Tom, sticking on that side of the ball, Nebraska's pass protection with Casey Thompson obviously has struggled this year. Purdue has struggled at getting to the quarterback. I wonder if you're kind of viewing this maybe the same way I am, that it could end up being a huge key, I guess, which of those teams is able to do their job in that particular aspect better, and if that could be a sign of things to come positively or negatively for whatever side it happens to.
Yeah, Purdue doesn't have a real dynamic pass rusher. George Karlaftis is gone, obviously. But the line is still the strength of the defense. They're comfortable playing upwards of 12 guys. They keep bodies fresh. Just a lot of solid players. And that really helps when you get in the second half, obviously. Keep your legs fresh. And there are no gaudy sack numbers. They haven't been getting better pressure though of late. There are a couple guys who could turn out to be nice pass rushers off the edge. Number 44, Kygan Jenkins. Watch him. And number 96, Corday Sidner. Those are probably the 2 best rushers. So you're right. Who can win that battle? Can Nebraska keep those guys off Casey Thompson so we can find Trey Palmer deep in that tight end you got? I know it's an NFL tight end. So, again, that'll be fun to watch. Like I said, the line for Purdue is its strength on defense, and they're going to come at you in waves and try to eventually get some heat on Casey Thompson and get some negative plays, maybe some turnovers.
Tom, you mentioned injuries with defense. I wanted to look at the offensive side of the ball and ask you about Charlie Jones. Obviously, he's put together a good season so far, but the production has been a little limited since that matchup versus Syracuse. What's the latest on him? What are you expecting to see from Jones versus Nebraska on Saturday night?
Oh, he'll play. He'll be out there, number 15, but you're right. His production has tapered off. I'm told he's not healthy. He really hasn't been healthy all year. And he hardly practices. They just want to try to get him to game day. And he's awfully explosive. He's legit fast. You guys have seen him when he was at Iowa. You know what he's all about, what he can do. But he's been used more as a receiver at Purdue. And he's very good. So, I think defenses obviously are focusing on him too. So, you factor in the notion, again, that he's not totally healthy. The defense is focusing on him. And also, guys, the number 2 receiver has never really stepped up yet. Here we are halfway through the year. The tight end is very good for Purdue, Payne Durham, but there's been no consistent number 2 wide receiver option. So I think that's hurt Charlie Jones a little bit too. But count on Aiden O'Connell targeting Charlie Jones 7 to 10 times at least on Saturday night. They've got chemistry that goes back to their childhood. They trust each other. So it'll be fun watching those two guys trying to operate and figure out that Nebraska secondary and get some big plays for Purdue's offense.
GoldandBlack.com's Tom Dienhart joining us as we preview the Purdue Boilermakers. Devin Mcgee has had to shoulder a lot of the rushing load with King Daru and Dylan Downing having been on the shelf. What do you see the role in the run game for Saturday night?
Purdue always wants to run just enough to keep defenses honest, right? I mean, it's never going to be a real physical, formidable rushing attack. Situational running is important. A lot of times they have to gimmick things up with jet sweeps, quick counters, and even guys short passes to the perimeter serve as de facto runs. But Devin Mcgee has sort of been a revelation for him. He's a redshirt freshman walk-on. He's got a little something to him. They call him crazy legs. He's slippery. The running backs coach calls him kind of like a wet bar of soap. He's hard to get a hold of. He's just not physically developed yet. But again, he's relentless. And he can find the hole, too. So he's sort of been a fun storyline this year. And you're right, Dylan Downing's going to be out this week with a foot injury. Of course, King Daru was the number one running back when the season began, but he's hardly played because of the calf injury. He's not expected to suit up on Saturday. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, they're all just sort of pedestrian running backs. They're going to, again, probably lean on Mcgee Saturday night. They have a transfer from Central Michigan named Cody Lewis, who you'll probably see more of. He's sort of been a non-factor so far. And guys, keep your eye on number 3, Tyrone Tracy. He's a transfer from Iowa, like Charlie Jones. He's a wide receiver by trade, but they like to hand him the ball. And Purdue's probably going to line him up in the backfield and let him act as a running back on Saturday night, too. So let's see if he does get some carries as a true running back, because I think he can be pretty good back there.
Tom, what do you attribute to all the penalties, to the penalty struggles that Purdue has had? What I found pretty interesting too is, they're pretty, run of the mill in terms of middle of the country and number of penalties per game, but the yardage per game is where they've really found some issues as they're, well into the 100s.
Yeah, that was a real issue early on, especially, like I said, the Penn State game, the Syracuse game. I think they had 9 against Penn State. And they committed 13 against Syracuse. And that was the real meltdown game, guys. They just scored a touchdown late. I mean, they get it like the game was over. And they get 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties after the touchdown when they were kicking an extra point, one on Payne Durham and one on the Purdue sideline. And they ended up having to, kick off in like their 10-yard line. Syracuse got the ball basically and they're starting that running drive to midfield. So that was the game that really killed. Just a lot of, in that sense, selfish, undisciplined penalties. But they've really sort of cleaned things up in recent weeks. I think the message was made clear to the players by the staff, and it was really emphasized there late in September. And again, they've sort of been able to clean that stuff up at this point.
Tom, we have seen the night atmosphere before in West Lafayette. We remember the memorable Rondale Moore game from a few years ago against Ohio State. And while this isn't Ohio State coming to town, we said at the top, it's a division, it's for the division lead, and Purdue has a tiebreaker on Minnesota already. So what kind of an atmosphere do you expect for Saturday night? I know they're hoping for the sellout, and what do you expect to see?
This game has been sold out for a few months. It sold out a long time ago. I think you boys got to credit Nebraska fans probably for that, right? So I'm sure there'll be a nice contingent of red in the Ross-Age Stadium stands Saturday night. Should be a great atmosphere, honestly. Boy, it's turned to fall weather in West Lafayette. It's beautiful right now with the trees, and you got that little cool nip in the air. It's just perfect mid-October, Midwestern fall football weather. So it ought to be a good weather-wise game and setting game from that standpoint. Again, the stands should be packed. And like you said, man, there's big stakes, right, with Nebraska and Purdue. So that should jack the fans up even more. So it should be a good atmosphere, an electric atmosphere. The two teams sort of heading on that upward trajectory.
Tom Dienhart, GoldandBlack.com. Tom, always appreciate the time. Thank you very much for coming on, and enjoy the game.
You got it. Thank you for having me, fellas.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom Dienhart of Purdue's rival site, GoldandBlack.com. It will be curious to see how many Nebraska fans made the trip. He said that, it sold out a long time ago, so that probably indicates that a few folks had already had this one planned. But it's a battle of a couple of teams right now. Certainly Purdue has a better record right now than Nebraska, but with the injuries, with things trending in one direction, neither team has been great recently at running the football. And I have a feeling that the team that can manage the run game the best will have the best chance of winning. You remember last year's game, Purdue didn't run it that much, but they were effective enough when they needed to be, especially in the second half as they were holding out the stiff arm and keeping Nebraska at bay. So that'll be that to me will be one of the things we'll talk about a little bit later on in Keys.
Yeah, it's one of those games where the team, just given that some of the things that each team does poorly, the other team does poorly in either defending that or trying to execute that. It seems like one of those games where the team that is able to overcome their deficiency versus the deficiency of the other team, that it might be the one who wins. And I am worried about tomorrow night, John, and just a lot of penalties again. Just after what we've seen the last couple of weeks, that these two teams, they do get penalized, as we talked about at the very end with Tom.
That's Tom Dienhart from goldenblack.com. All right, we've got more to come right here on 1620 The Zone.
Irrational confidence.
I've said this all along. You're going to be able to convince me that a lot of these things that could end up happening are going to work. I don't think it's – now this is probably it doesn't give enough credit to the people who do it. I just don't think it's that hard.
Wow, not that hard, huh?
That they haven't been doing.
He's got those 47 games.
Damn it, I told you to not take offense to this. Just do the fundamental things, and then we'll see where this lands.
The Connor Happer Show, weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast, presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch, from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Clear skies will continue to trend for the area as we approach sunset and beyond. Meanwhile, temperatures will cool from the 50s all the way into the upper 30s around daybreak Saturday. About Saturday afternoon, I'm tracking a lot of sunshine, breezy conditions, a high temperature of 70 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. We're getting reports of standstill traffic on I-80 westbound between exits 445 and 442. Looks like there's a moderate traffic jam around Dodge and 90th. And 370 eastbound around 168th has some standstill traffic going on right now. My name's Conrad. That's been your afternoon traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Come on, when was the last time you had your Fernando's fix? It doesn't get any better than lunch, dinner, carry-out, even catering from Fernando's. Get your Fernando's fix. 114th and Dodge, 75th and Pacific, and FernandosOmaha.com.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world, and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Creighton Sports Update. Single game tickets for all men's and women's basketball home games are on sale now. The Blue Jays tip off two highly anticipated seasons in less than a month, and you won't want to miss any of it. Get your tickets online now at gocreighton.com/tickets. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Maybe it's time to kiss your small group health insurance goodbye. More and more small businesses are dumping their expensive group health insurance plans for new plans on the marketplace, thus creating savings for the business and employees. Hi, I'm Mark Schlange, owner of Marketplace Nebraska, and I can help. We are experts in helping you save money on the marketplace. I recently helped a small business save over $60,000 in premiums. Don't wait. Give me a call today. Visit marketplacenebraska.com. That's marketplacenebraska.com.
With almost everything in life, you have choices. You can pick a lot, a little, or somewhere in the middle. So shouldn't there be an internet plan that's just as clever? One that allows you to add TV or home automation whenever. That's why Cox now offers flexible internet plans, giving you all the services you desire at nothing you don't require. Additional services can be added at then current regular rates. All services subject to residential customer service agreement and acceptable use policy found at cox.com/policies. Restrictions apply.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
If the COVID pandemic should have taught us anything, it's that the worst estate planning anyone can do is do nothing. Write this number down, 402-397-5880. That's the number to the law office of Christian R. Blanc. Chris Blanc can walk you through the creation of your own estate plans that include power of medical attorney, living will, joint living trust, and more. Your initial consultation is always free. Call the law office of Christian R. Blanc at 402-397-5880.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. This is unsportsmanlike conduct.
They'll perch up in trees. They'll swoop at you. They'll attack you for no reason. Peacocks are mean.
They're not going to kill you. On 1620, The Zone.
At Backswing Brewing Company, the happy hour is underway for the teachers. Don't forget, you get 20% off your tab because it's happy hour for teachers every Friday here at Backswing, 129th and Maple. Chance to sit down and talk with some of the folks with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild and, of course, TJ, who runs the Backswing Brewing here in Omaha. Great folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, guess what? We're cheating. We started early today.
Uh-huh.
If you like rye whiskey, you like, a lot of the whiskeys, the rye whiskeys, the rye PA, as Nick calls it, is really good.
Look at the smile on his face right now.
Yeah,
Good
he's
power
taking
New York
credit.
City with that
He's taking
smile.
credit.
Uh-huh.
Cleveland is 2 outs away from
Let's
evening the
go.
series against the Yankees. They're up 4-2 in the 10th. Clase is out there to try to get the save, and I don't believe we have a score yet in the Braves game.
0-0.
Producer Josh is here to watch his Braves and have a cold one with us here at Backswing. Come on by and say hi. We've got Zone stickers. We got some other swag, 1620, the Zone T-shirts. We've got stuff from the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Come on by, say hi, and enjoy and start your One Beer Friday with us. We are still waiting, Josh, for the Big Ten to make a decision.
I know.
We don't have a schedule for next year.
Still. And we thought we might have it soon.
And we may not have it even next week, next Tuesday when the presidents meet. It doesn't sound like we may have anything there as well. Scott Docterman, friend of the program, writing about it today in The Athletic. And the conference is still torn as to what to do. Now, USC and UCLA don't join until 2024.
Correct.
So next year is still going to be with the format of teams that we have today, the current 14-team format.
But will it be divisions or will it be divisionless?
And the problem is you might have three different things in 3 different years. We might have the traditional East-West alignment this year. Then they might decide, let's go to one division next year. And then, oh, by the way, we got 2 more teams coming in. Folks, it's not that hard. I'm going to bang this drum.
Banging the drum.
Until I can't bang the drum anymore. Keep the divisional format.
Well, at the very least, too, John, I would say this. Keep the division format for next year. And here's why. If you go to the 3 rivalry format and then
the pods,
the 6 other game format, you are going to lock teams in 2023 to a series of matchups that are going to have to change the following year with USC. So that's why if you're going to go divisionless, which I think the conference is, and I know you don't want them to, but I believe you also think they will, don't do it next year because, like you said, you're going to have to change stuff anyway going into 2024. Just have the division format one last year and then welcome in USC and UCLA and feel free to change it after that. It's odd that, for a while we knew what the 2023 schedule was, and I brought this up a few times. Nebraska originally next year was supposed to begin with a matchup against Minnesota, I believe in Minneapolis. But
I believe
might be
you're
wrong.
right.
Okay,
well,
so
yeah, because they're in Lincoln this year.
They're in Lincoln this year. Yeah, correct. So that's where the game was supposed to begin. And it might still be that way when it comes out. But the fact that we don't know at this point in time is just very, very strange.
Yeah, now I guess I shouldn't assume anything because the Big Ten is kind of stupid that way. Cleveland, by the way, wins 4-2, so they've evened the series at a game apiece. Here's my reasoning behind keeping the divisions, okay? Well, before I get to that, I'm going to read from Kevin Warren's comments this week at Big Ten Basketball Media Days. What we don't want to create anything that has unintended consequences, especially for football. What we want to do is help our schools have a chance to compete for a college football playoff spot and play for the national championship. And that's where some of the folks who believe if you go divisionless, well, you're going to help your teams make the college football playoff. But don't you at least still want to have some semblance of sanctity towards the Big Ten championship, the championship that of your conference, that you're still going to have a conference championship game? If you have a one division format, let's fast forward 2 years to 2024. So USC and UCLA are in 16 teams, 9 games.
9 games.
You're barely going to play half of your conference rivals. And then at the end, you're going to have the 2 top teams play in Indianapolis. Well, I guarantee you, folks, you're going to have some weird tiebreakers that are going to happen. You're either going to have 2 or 3 teams tied at the top at 8-1, or you might have 2 or 3 teams tied for second at 7-2, or whatever the records may be. And you're going to have all these weird tiebreakers, and you may not even have a common schedule because, one team's got a different pod from another team, and they may not have enough common opponents. That's the reason why I think we get so caught up now in, well, we want to make sure we make the playoff. You're the Big Ten. You're going to have multiple teams make the playoff. I think there's too much going into, well, we've got to try to manipulate our schedule and our format in such a way to maximize the teams in the playoff. In other words, game the system. But in doing that, you bastardize your own conference's championship. The other thing you have to keep in mind is the main reason why you have the teams that you have is for television. Mm-hmm. Because you want your regular season matchups to be the most attractive television product possible.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. And again, it's so easy. It's so easy. It's ridiculous. If you stick with the 2-division format in 2024, all you have to do is slide the West Coast teams into the West.
And move Purdue over.
Take Purdue, move them over to the East. They're now naturally matched up with their longtime rival, Indiana. You will have, of your blue blood / second tier, we'll call them, college football franchises. In the West, you'll have Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin, USC, UCLA. 5. And in the East, you still have Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. If you want to throw them in, Michigan State. I mean, that's a balance. That's a pretty balance. And think of all the combinations of games you will have just within the division. So you still have a very attractive television product. Plus you'll have whatever crossovers, however you decide to do the crossovers. And I still don't think you're going to hurt your chances as a conference of getting teams in to the college football playoff. Because
are we sure that's – oh, sorry. Keep going.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, are we sure that's really balanced, though? I mean –
That's I mean, from an attractiveness –
yes, from historical and attractiveness.
But remember, Ohio State throws everything out of balance. They are often by themselves.
But I was even going to say, so Ohio State's made the playoff. Michigan's made the playoff. Michigan State's made the playoff. Penn State has almost made the playoff. None of the other 5 teams have made the playoff.
Right, but
and I would say that very few of them have
but that's in a 4-team era. Now we're going to 12. I mean,
well, that was going to be my next point.
Of that group of teams, you're going to get, no matter if you keep them at a 2-division format, you're going to probably get 2 of those 4 Eastern schools in, and you're probably going to get at least 1 of those Western schools in. You know, if Chip Kelly continues to have success at UCLA, if
USC gets good,
if USC gets good, if
Wisconsin.
Nebraska can finally figure it out, Wisconsin.
Because my next point was going to be, is all of this for naught because a 12-team playoff it's going to render a lot of these conversations kind of useless. I think, at least, because I think no matter what, as long as the league doesn't fall off, they're going to get 3 and sometimes 4 teams in.
Exactly. So why bastardize your own conference championship and make that a confusing, ridiculous mess? You can still have a divisional format and at least a logical championship game at the end of the season versus trying to formulate all these weird tiebreakers. Because if your new priority is we're about getting teams into the college football playoff, you're going to get those teams anyway, whether it's a 1-division format or a 2-division format. Keep it the 2-division format. You're going to have a lot of attractive games, and you're still going to probably land the same number of teams depending on the quality of those teams. Everything is cyclical. There's going to be years where the Big Ten's going to be down. There's going to be years where the Big Ten's really good. It's no different than any other sport.
I think that they want a conference championship game where the 2 best teams play more often than they don't.
But you're not guaranteed to get that in a 1-division
but
format.
John, you would agree this year the 3 best teams are in 1 division in the conference, right?
Sure they are.
So I'm pretty hard pressed to imagine a year.
So guess what you're guaranteed to get?
Where 2 of the 3 don't play.
A rematch.
And that's fine. That doesn't.
I really don't think college football fans want rematches, especially if it's like Ohio State, Michigan.
Well, they're going to have to deal with it, you know? Like
I don't think they should have to deal with it. I don't think it's necessary.
In the playoff, though. Like
I understand that, but at least that's the playoff. We're talking about a conference championship.
I think in the end, all these things are going to figure themselves out, and what is one complaint for one format is going to be another complaint for another format.
Oh, and I'm not here to say that either of these formats are perfect. It's not perfect, but it's logical and it makes sense.
What would you think if it was truly 4 divisions? Now some of this is just how I'm putting it into a package for you. I'm labeling things, but let's pretend it is I don't want to even say far west because Nebraska would probably be involved, but let's say it's the Big Ten West, the Big Ten North, the Big Ten East, the Big Ten South. Those 4 champions come together at the end and have a mini Big Ten.
Well, you
playoff.
proposed this before.
Is that more palatable?
It's something that might be worth looking at. I don't dismiss it out of hand. I like it better than a 1-division format. Now, you still got to figure out who you're scheduling or how
Correct.
you're going to work the scheduling. The thing about the 2-division format is you would play the other 7 schools and you would have 2 crossovers, and you could rotate through all of the other 8 schools
in theory
every 4 years.
Yeah.
Because you could play 2 1 year, then 2, then 2,
and then you would see them
2.
basically. You'd see 2 of them, or let's say 1 at home in 1 year and 1 on the road. And
right.
Then 4 years later, it would flip.
So
that would allow you to see all 8 teams over the course of 4 seasons.
Which I think is one thing you should want to strive to do.
Stop doing home and home over 2 years, because if that's the case, you're going to go like a half decade basically,
exactly,
without seeing everything.
Now, I don't know how you would schedule in your 4-team or 4-division pod. I mean, however you decide to do that. I don't have a problem with the idea of the 4-team thing, and then you would have essentially a semifinal and then a final.
And I say this too, especially because just in case, if all these reports of the Big Ten getting bigger are eventually proven to be true, and look, for the record, I think they will be. For me, it's a when, not an if. If it goes to 20, I think that would actually make the most sense, would be to have 4 5-team divisions, and then you're playing your 4 opponents, and then, like you said, you're figuring out, then there has to be some sort of formula to see the other teams as well. But that's the thing, man, with these unwieldy leagues, it's just going to make a lot of this pretty annoying. The NFL, it's awesome. The scheduling format is really good. The math works out pretty perfectly. Even as they move to a 17-game regular season, the math works out pretty well. The math it's not meant to work out well in college football.
No,
it's not.
And
Whether
it never
it's
will.
with an 8-game conference schedule or a 9-game conference schedule, for the most part, it's just not meant to work out.
Well, we're not going to know. We may not know what next year's conference schedule is going to look like until December, when the next meeting after this meeting happens at Big Ten championship game, because they're still trying to figure things out. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up trying to do. But I still believe this: if you're a Nebraska fan, I still think you want the 2-division format.
Well, yes, you do, and you know why you want it too? And this is a very sports radio topic, brain way to view it, but what becomes a good season in a divisionless format?
Right.
I don't know anymore. Is it being upper half of the comp? And part of this is that makes this difficult now is Nebraska's not good. Michigan fans, Ohio State fans, they are still going to easily define what is a good season.
Yeah.
For the longest time in our lives, especially the last 20 years, 15 years, a good season was winning the division. Then that kind of fell off, and it was like making a bowl game. What is a good season in a divisionless format? I mean, I know you got to walk before you can run. You got to crawl before you can walk. So the immediacy is probably going to be, hey, just make a bowl and then maybe upper half. But it's just going to be odd. You know, what does it do for coaches' contracts, for middling programs?
It's
like
going to make the
Nebraska?
whole bonus structure really weird.
Upper half of the Big Ten, you get a
Yeah,
bonus.
can you imagine
I'm
what
in
Iowa,
eighth
who
place.
currently awards their coach 7-win
place.
seasons?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, guess what, Kirk? You get an extra $150,000 because you finished top 7.
Yeah. No one gets rewards for being in the upper half of their league.
It's going to really look goofy.
Yeah, it is. Plus, again, this is a dumb, silly thing to worry about, but no longer will you have a division championship banner. All of these things that you've kind of taken for granted in this era, they just kind of disappear.
Well, we'll find out what they decide to do, but it won't be happening anytime soon, it sounds like. It's a One Beer Friday. We are at Backswing Brewing Company here in Omaha at 129th and Maple. The sun is out.
Oh, it's looking nice outside.
Folks are enjoying a great day of just enjoying some beer. I've got the rye PA. Josh has the regular IPA.
No. I went with the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, you went with the rye PA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You went with the rye PA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we started early.
Mm-hmm.
We decided what the hell.
There's too many friends here not
There's
to.
too many friends. There's too much fun. It's a first place battle weekend.
Oh, like the old days.
We still have our keys to the game and our predictions coming up. By the way, update on the poll, 51.9%. Urban Meyer has slowly started to pull away. Vote Mike Leach.
The Michael Severe hive. They're out in full force.
Michael's
the
got too
message
many
boards
friends
always
out there.
says they hated Michael, and now they're voting with Michael?
I don't get it.
Come on. Where
I
are the
don't get
haters
it.
at? Have you seen this video, by the way?
If for anything else, vote Mike Leach just to see how close we can make this sucker.
Yeah, please.
So if you haven't voted already, go to the JTech Construction Zone Twitter page. I've just retweeted it out again. Hey, Ravi is here. Ravi is here.
Look at him with his crate and stuff on. Wow, look at all this clapping and cheering.
Yeah. Hey,
they want 16-20 to Ravi.
When he is our Norm. He kind of looks like Norm with a big dark beard and a Creighton sweatshirt. We're at Backswing, 129th and Maple. Come on by and join us. We're having a great time. You can have a great time, too, on 1620 The Zone. John Bishop here from my friends at Brookside Medical Clinic. After you have a great time out at Backswing, you might want to continue the great time back at home. But for some guys, having that great time means you got to take a pill first and then wait for it to kick in. Well, if you have had the advanced wave technology at Brookside Medical Clinic, there's no waiting because things work naturally, the way God intended. Who am I? Who are you? Who are us to undo God's good work? Go to Brookside Medical, get the advanced wave technology. It's non-surgical. There's no stitches, no healing, none of that, and you can get your ED problems fixed. Then there's no more pills, no more waiting, no more nothing. It's just back to the way things used to be. Call today, 402-671-7777. Tell them that John at the Zone sent you, and you can get a free ultrasound and a checkup with Brookside to find out if the advanced wave technology at Brookside is right for you. 402-671-7777 for Brookside Medical.
1620 The Zone's four-quarter pick'em returns. It's your chance to win $1,620. All you have to do is correctly pick 4 college or NFL games against the spread. Listen to qualify every weekday or enter online at 1620thezone.com. One lucky listener will be selected each week to make their picks live on air.
Awesome.
Go to 1620thezone.com for complete rules and contest details. It's four-quarter pick'em with 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Fall is in full swing, and you know what that means. Big events, sporting events, shows. And if you're looking for tickets to the best upcoming event, go to my friends, Tickets for Less and ticketsforless.com. They're going to take care of you, whether you want to be at Memorial Stadium for a Husker game or at Arrowhead Stadium to see the Chiefs, even the Chiefs-Bills this weekend. Tickets for Less is your source for the best tickets without the crazy per-ticket fees you pay on other sites. Yes, no crazy per-ticket fees ever at Tickets for Less. They can save you hundreds on fees alone. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com.
Sure, the weather is nice and mild now, but before too long, it's going to be cold, windy, with tons of snow and ice. Is your roof ready? The time to make it ready is now. That's why Complete Industries uses quality products like Scotchgard protected Atlas Pristine shingles. Sturdy, durable, and reliable. So when the storm hits, you'll be more than ready. Complete Industries also works with your insurance. Get a free inspection and estimate on roofs, gutters, siding too.
Visit CompleteIndustries.com or call 402-935-0554.
Follow your imagination to the Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch. Bring the whole gang and explore for treasure on the pirate shipwreck. See how the West was fun. Pretend you're a superhero as you jump on giant bounce pads. Maybe reserve your own campfire rental where you can roast marshmallows and tell stories. It's all up to you. And of course, go on a hayride and grab your own pumpkin. Priced by the size, not the pound. Follow your imagination at the Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch. 48th between Cornhusker and Highway 370. More info at BellevueBerryFarm.com.
Genesis Health Club's celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you're invited. Join for just 36 cents and get the rest of the year for free. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs, thanking you for the last 36 years. Without you, we wouldn't be here, and we're here for your results. We're here to help you feel better, look better, and have more energy, and be able to enjoy all life has to offer by improving your health. Celebrate Genesis Health Club's 36th anniversary by joining today for just 36 cents and get the rest of the year for free. One day left. That's 36 years of results, 36 years of better mood, concentration, and focus, 36 years of crushed goals, 36 years of mental and physical strength, 36 years of members achieving their absolute best, and now it's your turn. So get fit, have fun, and celebrate 36 years with us. Join Genesis Health Clubs for just 36 cents and the rest of the year for free. Hurry, just one day left. Find your fitness home at GenesisHealthClubs.com.
The following is a test of the KOZN emergency system equipment. The data tones you just heard are used in the emergency alert system. This concludes testing of the KOZN emergency alert system equipment. This station serves the Nebraska operational area number 1.
1620 The Zone at 1620thezone.com. 1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
All right, if you want a One Beer Friday and you want to do it right, A, you need to come to Backswing, 129th and Maple. B, you need to order a beer because between now and the end of the program, friend of the program, Trevor, first round's on him.
Whoa! Holy moly!
First round's on him. And they've got 12 different varieties to choose from at Backswing. So many good ones. I can't wait to figure out what I'm going to do next, because One Beer Friday is really, really close. I just saw our friends at Infusion are doing a Let It Fly lager. Hashtag Let It Fly.
For the Jays
AKA,
fans out there.
Yeah, and we all know Creighton fans like to drink. So that's pretty cool.
Soon Nebraska, can we make those jokes anymore? Like, the sweater vests and
Nebraska drinks. That's what we do. We drink Nebraska beer.
Though Creighton fans, don't you guys do like spritzers or wine or something?
No, Creighton fans. I mean, there's so much
Robbie,
beer.
noted wine guy, Ravi Lula, wearing his sweater vest at the Jays games, pinky out always.
We only do that when we're in our company. When we're in mixed company, that's when we break out the beer.
Eric wants to know.
Exactly, like the common man. The Jays, the team.
Robbie's not a common
fan.
man. He owns a house and he's got a door or something. I don't know what he has.
He's got
a
door.
His cat destroyed or his dog's destroyed. What do they do to your door?
No. He has people.
The cat locked him in. That's what it was. He had to kick the door down, but he can afford a new door. I can't afford no door. I don't live the life of Ravi Lula. I don't have door money, just chilling.
Just door money?
I don't know. I know Nick doesn't. Nick, do you have door money? No. Eric wants to know, are we able to extend unsportsmanlike conduct until, let's say, 9 p.m.? Sadly, we are not.
No, we are not.
Got to stop by before 6 if you want that first pour free.
Yep. First pour on Trevor.
Let's go, Trevor.
So come on down to Backswing. We're on the south side of 129th and Maple. It's 4-0 Philadelphia. Oh, Reese Hoskins. Oh, someone get Josh another beer. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. We've got our keys to the game. We've got our predictions coming up. But, man, this week 7 in college football is amazing. We've got 3 games featuring undefeated teams on both sides. You got Tennessee, Alabama. You got TCU, Oklahoma State. And, of course, big noon kickoff, Penn State and Michigan. And when you look at let's start with Penn State.
All right.
And Michigan. The Penn State defense is kind of an unsung. We talked about a lot of great defenses in the Big Ten. We don't mention Penn State a lot.
I would agree.
But Penn State's defense is pretty stout, and so they should be good enough to keep them in the game. My question is going to be, can they score enough to keep with the Wolverines, and can they contribute more to the Sean Clifford cause? Because Sean Clifford right now, he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting right now for the Nittany Lions. Can they get something out of that run game? Can they get something out of Singleton this weekend? If so, obviously when you go on the road, you want to do 2 things. You want to run the ball. You want to stop the run. 3 things, actually. Run the ball, stop the run, turnovers, win the turnovers. You do those 3 things on the road, you're going to be in good shape. Can they run the ball effectively enough? I know Michigan last week struggled in the first half, but then they turned it on. I think McCarthy was something like 16 out of 18.
His
or
completion
something.
Percentage in games this year has been pretty ridiculous.
But in the second half, and they just pulled away. And I'm gonna, listen, it's college football. I know Indiana's not a good football team, but sometimes you're just going to have those types of games, especially when you're on the road. Now Michigan's back home in the big house against Penn State. This is going to be a really interesting battle.
Yeah, it definitely is. And this is a weird sentence to say, but when Penn State has traveled to the big house under James Franklin and fans have been there, thus I'm excluding 2020, they've gotten killed. 2016, a team that ended up winning the conference, Penn State, they got destroyed. The same thing happened in 2018 and 2020. They got a victory. You mentioned Nicholas Singleton. He got off to a really good start this season, the true freshman out of PA. He had 179 yards against Ohio. He had 124 yards on only 10 carries against Auburn. By the way, only 10 carries against Ohio as well. He had 4 combined touchdowns. He's not done a whole lot, though, over the last couple of weeks. Only 129 total yards. He is a player that I think I am looking for. What he did against Auburn, I think, was really special. And that's the thing, I guess, that I keep coming back to, John, is what is Penn State? They really rose to the occasion against Auburn. And I know that Auburn, we joke about Brian Harsin every week, because this is last week coaching the team. That's a tough environment to go into, and they won by 29 points. They won going away. But Michigan has had a lot of success in this matchup when it's been at the Big House, and their defense can certainly get after it. I think J.J. McCarthy is ultimately the player that I'm going to watch out for. Can he put together a really good completion percentage day against the Nittany Lions, or will he struggle? These two teams, I think they're very similar for me in that they have played some really bad competition, and they've blown out the bad competition. But lately, it hasn't looked as pretty. You mentioned the Indiana win for Michigan. Penn State beat Northwestern 17-7 a couple of weeks ago. And so you're like, are you good or are you just kind of average? Essentially, the question is, are these two teams on the same level as Ohio State? The winner is at least going to have themselves in the conversation until they play the Buckeyes. The loser, dare I say, they're probably going to be out of the Big Ten East race.
The other thing to watch for as well, oh boy, the Phillies just hit another home run, a 2-run. Oh, Bryce Harper, 6-0 now. Man, my World Series pick's going to hell. The other thing to watch for too is, can J.J. McCarthy handle the heat? Because Penn State's going to pressure him. If he can handle the heat, Michigan's going to go a long way. This game will be coming up in predictions. I have not made my call yet on this one. I'm not sure where I'm at.
I know who I'm going to pick to win. That's all I'll say.
Tennessee, Alabama. It's been 15 tries for Tennessee. They have 0-15 against the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's also been since 1999 that Tennessee has won a top 10 matchup when both teams are rated in the top 10, this once proud program. Listen to these numbers from Bill Conley. SP Plus, his exclusive rating system. Bama's defense, number 2. Tennessee's offense, number 2. Points per drive, Tennessee offense, number 2. Bama defense, number 4. Red zone touchdowns, Bama defense, number 9. Tennessee offense, number 11. Strength versus strength, Tennessee offense, Bama defense. Can Tennessee finally break through? I think they're going to need big plays. They had a lot of big plays last week against LSU. That's kind of how they live. It's going to be tough to move the ball, as Texas found out. It's tough to drive. You got to have some big plays. You got to get chunk plays, get down the field, get those quick strikes. Jalen Hurts, wow. Bryce Young, going back to Alabama quarterbacks, Bryce Young will probably be back. But how effective will he be? Alabama's been very hit or miss. I really thought they would take it to Texas A&M last week.
I did too.
And they did not. Now
they can be had, man.
They can be had.
Close it out, though.
You've got to close it out. Hendon Hooker, they need to have a big game, big plays. I think Tennessee can do it. But somewhere in there, buried deep in the soul of that Alabama team, is the true Alabama. You don't want that team to be there on Saturday.
The thing that I love about Tennessee, a couple things. First of all, they spread their receivers out incredibly wide. Watch that on the broadcast tomorrow. Their guys are outside of the numbers, man. They are so spread out.
Baseline to baseline.
On the offense.
Sideline to sideline.
And so, they can run, they can throw on you. If you're going to play the run, they'll go deep. If you're going to play back, they're going to run on you. I heard, can't remember who it was, someone describe it, though, this week. How many times in the Nick Saban era has the upstart SEC team welcomed Alabama into their home stadium with a chance to break through and say, hey, we have arrived, and then Alabama makes it miserable over the course of 3.5 hours? It's happened many, many times. Only Georgia ultimately has really been able to put them in a spot where it's like they have the upper hand now. I hope that Tennessee can do that. I think that the stadium will be incredible. I think the atmosphere will be incredible. I think Tennessee can do it. Ultimately, though, can they? And I know I'm just kind of disagreeing with myself, but it's just like, can they close the door? Can they make the plays? Alabama, as we just mentioned, they've not looked awesome all year long. They've had some solid performances, but they played way too close, in my opinion, against A&M. way too close against Texas. They have deficiencies. Can Tennessee take advantage of those deficiencies? And I guess, too, will we see Bryce Young, and how effective can Bryce Young be? That's ultimately where the question.
Key is going to be handling the emotion.
Yeah, because it's going to be insane.
Whether it's a fast start or not.
Oh, yeah,
you know, Alabama has a tendency to take teams out and their fans out of it early.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what if Tennessee gets off to a fast start?
Yep.
Emotion can only carry you so far, because Nick Saban teams usually, you know, they handle those things pretty well. So how Tennessee handles the emotion of the situation, because this is going to be the most electric Neyland Stadium has been in a long time.
Years.
Golden opportunity. It's kind of similar to, and I'm not saying the result's going to be the same, very similar to 2007 Nebraska USC, where, you know, hey, this is our moment. This is our moment. You don't want to have a Nebraska USC happen to you if you're Tennessee. So handling the emotion of the situation is going to be huge. And then you've got, it's a game that's not going to get, of the three, that's going to get a lot of love. But I'm telling you, folks, maybe the most entertaining of the three games is going to be TCU and Oklahoma State, because this has a tendency, this could be one of those old-fashioned Big 12 first 1 to 50 wins type games.
Yeah.
These two offenses are really good. Max Duggan, the Council Bluffs native, look at his improvement.
Yeah, year over year.
He started as a freshman, 53% completion rate, 57th in QBR. Today, and it's been incremental in gains every year. Today, he's up 20 points in completion rate, and he's 5th in QBR. Max Duggan has been a stud for TCU. And, of course, on the other side, you know, Oklahoma State, and these guys, I think last week they looked really good getting the win against Baylor. Spencer Sanders, you know, he's matched up with his head coach. You know, they're symbiotic right now. They are playing really good football right now. I think first 1 to 50 might win this game.
And here's the thing, too, for me, and this is going to show up in predictions later. Oklahoma State last week saw 104 plays by the Texas Tech offense.
That's a lot of plays.
TCU versus Kansas, they saw, quote-unquote, only 72 plays by the Jayhawks offense. I'm with you. I think this is going to be a high-scoring affair, but I just wonder if that Oklahoma State defense might just be a little too tired. TCU, they have popped up now multiple times in a row against a ranked, at the time, Oklahoma team, and then they went into a hornet's nest as Kansas can be. They went into that scenario last week. Game day, all of that. Their quarterback gets knocked out. They trade punch for punch. TCU handled it extremely well. So these two teams have been kind of living on emotional highs over the last couple of weeks. Who does it catch up with? Who is the most fatigued? I'm with you. Like, the other two games are the helmet matchups, have the star power. This one, though, might be the most fun.
So there's a bit of a preview as to what's to come this weekend. Should be great. Of course, 11 o'clock, big noon kickoff for Michigan and Penn State. The Alabama, Tennessee, and the Oklahoma State TCU games are in the middle of the afternoon, so you'll have to split your viewing preferences. And don't forget, at night, you've got some good games as well going on opposite the Nebraska game. So a lot of things to keep an eye on this weekend in college football. But the game that everybody is talking about,
many are
that
saying,
the world is talking about, the first place battle,
prime time,
Nebraska, Purdue, primetime on BTN. Lots of commercial breaks. 4.5 hour long game.
Stop it. Some of us have to do bigger overreaction tomorrow night.
We'll preview it next on 1620 The Zone, live from Backswing Brewery, 129th and Maple. It is One Beer Friday.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my brand new friends at Rossi Clothiers, located in Rockbrook Village. I know that some of us, we have perhaps had those weight fluctuations over the last few years. Maybe for you, you're happy with the fluctuations. Maybe you're not so happy. Either way, Rossi Clothiers is the perfect place for you to go. It's not just about the clothes that you will see hanging on the wall, but It's about that overall experience that you will get from Charlie. He has been in this industry for decades at this point, had an awesome conversation talking about, hey, here's what we were doing back in this decade. Here's what we were doing in this decade. Made me feel incredibly comfortable. And as my play-by-play increases a whole lot over the next few weeks and months, it's time for me to look better on television. And look, it's just time for me to feel good because sometimes I'm not on TV. I'm doing the radio broadcast. I want to be looking good, and I know that he will help me out. And hey, don't forget about their men's and ladies outerwear 2022 and 2023 collections with Schneider's of Salzburg. Special pricing going on tonight and tomorrow in Rockbrook Village. You will not leave this place disappointed. You will feel so good, and then you will look good as well. Celebrating over 30 years of timeless, elevated menswear, Rossi Clothiers, Rockbrook Village.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, More Time Saving Traffic Center. We have reports of an accident on 48th and L Street, and we also have an accident on 42nd and Curtis. Dodge Street's not looking too bad, and neither are the highways. My name is Conrad. This has been your afternoon traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Nanfito Heating and Cooling.
Firing up your furnace? Nanfito Heating and Cooling, a Rude Pro partner, will get your furnace in working order so you aren't left in the cold with residential installation, repair, and maintenance on all brands. Call Nanfito Heating and Cooling 402-515-5050.
The big box stores have a secret. When you walk out the door with a new purchase, that's where the service ends. At Ty's Outdoor Power and Service, you get great deals on brands like Hustler, Toro, Honda, and Steel. Plus, you get a dedicated, experienced service center. With annual maintenance and repairs, your equipment will last longer and perform when you need it most. See us in Lincoln, Omaha, or Gretna and get 10% off your residential service. Visit TysOutdoorPower.com, promo code radio, or mention radio to redeem.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and included 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Would you rather that your roof or siding last 5 years or 50 years? I'm Dan Thompson of Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation. Products today last much longer. Gone are the days of just tear shingles off, nail shingles on. Whether it's impact resistant, high wind tolerance, or in the case of EuroShield hail-proof rubber shingles, you can have great designer looks and durability. At Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation, we don't just give you an estimate, we educate you and give you options. So you decide, 5 or 50. Click Thompson 3rd today and start enjoying your new roof or siding.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for weddings, holidays, birthdays, or for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. And right now, buy a Bartesian and get your first 6 cocktails free when you go to bartesian.com/drinks. Go to BARTESIAN.com/drinks for your free cocktails. That's bartesian.com/drinks.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
From your mom.
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer.
Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know, but I had one beer.
Friday!
We probably have Beer Center each week. Ralph Club, biggest contributor.
Beer. I like beer. I don't know if you like Beer Center or not. What do you like to drink?
I had one beer. Friday.
Hanging out and having some beers with friends, which I gladly do and which I fully embrace.
Well, you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Friday.
It is One Beer Friday, brought to you by the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild, who has linked together all of these great craft brewers across our state and has helped promote and make the craft beer industry in this state so special. You know, we were talking to TJ here at Backswing about just their origin story and how everything came together. And here we are 7-8 years later, and they're distributing their beer across the area. They've got this beautiful bar here at 129th and Maple. You can come by and grab 6 packs or just come by and enjoy one of their 12 delicious beers on tap. By the way, what's the next one you have?
I got the Saison now.
The Saison.
For beer number 2. For beer number 2 on a One Beer Friday.
It's a 2 beer Friday.
It's a 2 beer Friday.
It's a 2 beer Friday.
Uh-huh.
But it's businesses like this and it's breweries like this that make everything so special. And there's so many different things to choose from. There's so many different great beers. If you're not an IPA guy, fine. There's lagers. There's the Saison, as you mentioned. There's stouts. There's a beer for everybody. And there's so many different twists on all of those. You really can't find a bad beer anywhere across the state. The permutations are endless. So that's why we're so happy to team up with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild to help bring their stories to the air and also to try all of these great new beers. And so we are here at Backswing at 129th and Maple. Come on by. The first round is on Trevor until the end of the program.
57 minutes left.
What's that? NFMIC. Whatever you just said.
Yeah, what he said.
Whatever he just said. But come on out. First round is on Trevor. Try one of their great beers. They've got them all on tap. And by the way, the new red ale is available in cans for carryout.
Nice. And did you see, we have Kelsey, who we hope to make us top
a
75.
Special teams cake, yes.
Her husband, Mike, has made it out here, so it's nice to see him again as well.
Mike's here.
Uh-huh. We're hoping for the cake. We're hoping for the
cake.
Yeah. But, yeah, stop by. And like we said, 54 minutes now left. Who's counting? And you get your first pour.
That's right. You plus Backswing equals...
What did I say? Me plus you. Oh, nighttime fun.
Nighttime fun.
Nighttime fun.
And it's getting close enough to nighttime.
Yeah, late
now.
afternoon fun.
Late afternoon fun.
Uh-huh.
One Beer Friday here live at Backswing 129th and Maple.
Brian tweeted at us earlier. John plus Josh equals daytime fun.
Well,
put it on the marquee.
Here it's you plus Backswing Brewery equals daytime fun.
One Beer Friday fun.
One Beer Friday fun.
Mm-hmm.
First round is on Trevor.
Jordan wants to know, am I making up for all the missed One Beer Fridays? How many did I miss? Like 4? I'm not going to make up for that.
No, he's not going to make
today.
up for it. He's not going to make up for it, but that's all right. We've got plenty of time.
Uh-huh.
Each and every Friday, we're going to celebrate a new Nebraska brewer, and it'll be nice to have our refrigerator full again.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. Our refrigerator's been kind of light. Yeah, the one at work.
I thought it was full like 2 weeks
ago.
ago.
Well, it is now, but a few weeks ago,
it
was kind of empty.
Good.
It was kind of empty. But we've got it filled with all kinds of great Nebraska beers. It is time to break down the game. Tomorrow night, 6:30 kickoff, Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, Nebraska, and Purdue. It's time for our keys to the game. And the first key that I have, being stout against the run.
Mm.
Yeah, stout, as in a beer. Now, I know Purdue is not known for their running game. But with the exception of Maryland last week, when Purdue has been held under 100 yards on the ground, they have lost. They had just 61 yards in each of the losses to Penn State and Syracuse. They're down a couple of backs, including King Giroux, because of injury. Devin Mockabee will likely be the prime ball carrier out of the backfield. But keep your eye, and we had this yesterday, or actually I had this earlier today with Tom Dienhart. Watch for Tyrone Tracy on maybe some jet sweep action. I think Purdue is going to open up the running playbook just a little bit. Try to catch an aggressive Nebraska defense a little off. They've been pressing their corners on the edge. You get a receiver out there and a head blocking. You run a little jet sweep action. And if there's no safety help, you could bust a big run. Nebraska needs to be stout against the run. Yes, Purdue's going to make most of their yardage through the air, but they need to keep Purdue under that 100-yard measure, because if they do, their chances of winning will improve.
I'm going to start off with a key that is not so much similar to yours, but it involves a similar position, and that's the offensive line. But I'm going to look at the Nebraska side first. Keep Casey Thompson upright. He spent too much time, John, on his back in the last few games, getting hurt at various points as well, having him, miss a play or maybe miss a series. It has not cost them yet, especially over the last 2 games. They were well on their way to a loss versus Oklahoma when he got hurt, and that one was okay. And then the last 2 wins they were able to pick up. This is not one, though, in my opinion, where they could afford to lose him for a series or 2 and still pick up a victory. Thankfully, Purdue, not that great against, getting to the quarterback like Nebraska. They're very similar in that. They're middle of the pack in the country. They're 65th in terms of overall sacks, just a little bit better than Nebraska, but keep Casey Thompson upright. Again, I can't imagine that they're able to get out of this one with a victory or even a close loss if he gets hurt.
My next key is treat the 20-yard line like the goal line. Purdue has been turned away just once this year scoring in the red zone, just one time. And only 3 times have they penetrated the red zone and not got a touchdown. It's one of the best rates in all of college football. Keep them out of the red zone. Charlie Jones has been the prime scorer, but he does not have a touchdown in the last 2 games. He's been a little banged
hurt,
up. But here's where Payne Durham, their tight end, is dangerous in the pass game. Also, short yardage run can hurt. what Purdue is good at, they're not good at big plays, and I'll have that as part of my keys a little bit later on, but they're good at getting enough good chunk plays to get them in position to score. If they do get in the red zone, try to keep them outside of that, 1 to 3 yard radius from the goal line and at least make them throw it. Because Purdue, again, not super efficient in the run game, but they get down inside the 1 to 2 yard line. They're going to run it at you, and they've had a great percentage of scoring. So if you can bow up on those short yardage situations, if they do get in the red zone, perhaps you can force field goals instead of touchdowns. But treat the 20 like the goal line, keep them outside of the red zone, and you'll have a shot.
All right, I'll just go off of yours then. Who finishes in the red zone? Or maybe the better question is who doesn't finish inside the red zone? We talked about this a little bit earlier with Michael, and you just mentioned it as well. These two teams are really good when they get inside the 20, and they're really good especially at scoring touchdowns. Now, Michael's stats, he took out the FCS games. I'm going to keep mine in because of where I got my stats. Purdue scores touchdowns on 84% of their red zone chances. They are also 96% overall when they get inside the red zone. For Nebraska, all of their red zone scores have been touchdowns, 83% of the time when they get inside the 20. So you're looking at 84% touchdown rate and 83% touchdown rate. These teams are inside of the top 5 in the entire country when they get in the 20 in terms of scoring touchdowns. So can Nebraska get stops? Can Purdue get stops? Can Nebraska finish? Can Purdue finish? You want to look at a stat at the end of the game that I think could tell the story. This might be the one. Who finishes inside the red zone and who makes plays to hold the opposition to a field goal or perhaps get a takeaway?
Next key, winning third down means winning on first and second down. Both teams are above average in converting third downs on offense this year. Nebraska's at 46%, Purdue is at 45%. Now on defense, Purdue has been better than Nebraska defensively. 30% they have allowed, Purdue has offenses to convert third downs. Nebraska 41%. But Nebraska forcing third and longs has been the key to their success. Against Indiana, and I mentioned this last week, the Hoosiers averaged almost 8 yards to go on third down, which was a reason they didn't convert many third downs. Last week against Rutgers, the Knights averaged exactly 8 yards to go on third down, and their lone touchdown drive featured no third downs. So the key to winning third down is winning first and second down and forcing third and long. If Nebraska can keep Purdue into third and long, it's going to make their day a lot easier. That has been a key to their success the last 2 weeks, and I think that's going to be a key to their success the rest of this season, is forcing third and long.
Third key for me, bomb the ball. This seems, John, like one of the consistent parts of Nebraska's offense over the last few weeks where they have had some big-time plays when they have gone deep, and it really seems like Casey Thompson and Trey Palmer have developed something pretty special. I know I just mentioned the red zone, but I wonder if outside of the red zone, especially if they're able to get a quick change, Michael talked so much earlier about the takeaways and the turnovers that Purdue has almost had this season, but they have not. If Nebraska's able to maybe get 1 or 2 of those, turn around and go deep, I guess this fits in with what I have said so far. Keep Casey Thompson upright, drop back, and throw the ball deep. You see 1 of those tomorrow, I think you're feeling good. If you see 2 of them tomorrow, I think you might be feeling great.
Well, then I will piggyback off yours. Big plays. Nebraska has been slightly better this year in gaining 20-yard or more plays from scrimmage than Purdue, but the Boilers are far more stingy in allowing opponents to have 20-yard or greater plays, as the Huskers have yielded 11 more plays of 20-plus yards than have the Boilermakers. But the last 2 weeks, the Huskers have fared better. Last week, they only gave up 3 plays to Rutgers of 20 or more yards and none in the second half. And I think in this game, Nebraska, to your point of bombing the ball, Nebraska needs to pop a couple of big plays, if for anything else, to flip field position.
Yeah.
But they may need to score on at least 1 big play. And, of course, Trey Palmer is the candidate. All of his touchdowns this year have been scored on big plays. How many deep shots can that offensive line buy enough time for Casey Thompson to get set, to get Trey open, because Trey can get open, but the key has been having enough time and enough visual space for Casey to see it, because it's one thing if you give him time, it's another if Casey's having to escape the pocket, then you've got to set your feet, then you've got to get your target and get your eyes straight, and then you've got to throw. If they can buy him enough time, I think Trey Palmer can get open down the field, and if Nebraska's going to spring the upset, I think it's going to take a few big plays to get it done.
Fourth key for me, penalties. Both of these teams are not good at avoiding penalties. In Nebraska, John, in particular, the last two games, they've been caught in these penalty vortexes that have made for some pretty ugly moments, back-to-back-to-back penalties at various times. Nebraska, 100th in the country right now in penalties per game. Purdue not much better, 81st. What's interesting, though, is when you look at the raw penalty yardage, it kind of flips. Nebraska is actually 81st in raw yardage per game. Purdue, though, 111th in the country. So they're having fewer penalties than Nebraska, but for more yards. We have seen these penalties affect the games the last couple of weeks. I just wonder, especially, John, if that could mean Purdue finds themselves getting a pass interference or roughing the passer, a personal foul. If that happens, kind of the old TO adage, hey, keep your hands back. Don't get penalties, because I'm guessing Purdue will get some in this one. Allow for them to give you that free yardage.
Yeah, and my penalties was on my list too. That difference, you mentioned the penalty yardage, Nebraska 81st, Purdue 111th. It's only a difference of 9 more yards per game. So it's basically like a holding penalty per game. So both teams have been on the high side. And even in the win 2 weeks ago against Indiana, Nebraska had a ton of penalties. Now, the good news is Indiana had a lot of penalties that offset it. If Nebraska's going to win, they need to be on the low end of the penalty side. Purdue's probably going to shoot themselves in the foot maybe once or twice. Maybe it's a holding penalty on a big gain, or maybe it's a pass interference penalty. But if Nebraska can stay clean and allow Purdue to yield another 45, 50, 55, 60 yards more in penalties, that's field position. That's an advantage that Nebraska could have on Saturday night. So there's our keys
I had one more
to the game. Oh, yes, one
more. My bad. Enjoy the moment. When's the last time, John, that Nebraska had a first-place game and house money in their pocket? 2016 Wisconsin, maybe. It has not happened in a long time. Tomorrow night is about that. I would dare say this. I think all the pressure is on Purdue. All the pressure is on Purdue. If Nebraska loses, they have an interim coach. They're supposed to lose. They're 2-touchdown underdogs. Purdue is not in that boat right now. This is year 6 for Jeff Brom. Purdue 2-2 in one-score games. We ran through it a little bit earlier with Dienhart. We talked about it a little bit yesterday as well. They're a couple plays away from maybe having a worse record right now. They're also a couple plays away from being undefeated at this point in time as well. Enjoy the moment, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get any more of these for the rest of the season after tomorrow night. Live in it. The pressure's on them. Go loose.
Join us here at Backswing for the balance of the program, or even if you want to just hang around afterwards as well. Trevor's going to buy your first round, so you can do that. 12 different beers on tap. They're all fantastic. Please come on by and join us. We're at a 129th and Maple on the south side of Maple. 129th and Maple. We are at Backswing Brewery. And don't forget, teachers, it's happy hour for you. Teachers get 20% off of your tab.
Incredible.
Every Friday here at Backswing, and the first round is on Trevor.
Nice.
Coming up next, it's predictions time, and things are getting a bit snug.
Wow. How bad was he last week? I can't wait for you to tell me what Nick's record was last Friday.
Things are getting a little bit snug. We got a lot of games to pick, and we'll get to them all next right here on 1620 The Zone, live from Backswing Brewery at 129th and Maple.
Previously on The Crossover.
I am playing the Steelers in a league. My friends and I are in.
Garbage.
I brought back the steel wall, boys.
Steel wall?
Yeah, that's what they called the Steelers defense in the 70s.
Nope, not the steel wall. Try again.
Steel curtain.
Steel curtain's back. There you go. God.
Steel wall. That was the Walmart version.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Clear skies will continue to trend for the area as we approach sunset and beyond. Meanwhile, temperatures will cool from the 50s all the way into the upper 30s around daybreak Saturday. About Saturday afternoon, I'm tracking a lot of sunshine, breezy conditions, a high temperature of 70 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Both of the prior accidents have been cleaned up. We are getting reports of a heavy traffic jam on I-80 westbound right around L Street. There's also heavy traffic jams on South Saddle Creek and Dodge, as well as Cass and 78th. My name's Conrad. That's been your afternoon traffic.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Burton AC Plumbing, Heating, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Right now, we'll open your drain line for only $93 or it's free. Call for details or request service at justcallburton.com.
Genesis Health Clubs is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you're invited. Join for just 36 cents and get the rest of the year for free. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Stephen, owner of Genesis Health Clubs, thanking you for the last 36 years. Without you, we wouldn't be here, and we're here for your results. We're here to help you feel better, look better, and have more energy, and be able to enjoy all life has to offer by improving your health. Celebrate Genesis Health Club's 36th anniversary by joining today for just 36 cents and get the rest of the year for free. One day left. That's 36 years of results, 36 years of better mood, concentration, and focus, 36 years of crushed goals, 36 years of mental and physical strength, 36 years of members achieving their absolute best, and now it's your turn. So get fit, have fun, and celebrate 36 years with us. Join Genesis Health Clubs for just 36 cents and the rest of the year for free. Hurry, just one day left. Find your fitness home at genesishealthclubs.com.
Rotella's Italian Breads and Bakery. Tradition and quality at its finest. Over 100 years serving the community with high quality products. Make sure you have all of your hot dog buns, hamburger buns, brat buns, and breads galore for your tailgating parties and everyday needs. Stop into our bakery on 108th and Harrison or find us at your nearest grocery store. Rotella's Italian Bread. Over 100 years of tradition.
Sunday morning is all about church, eggs, and the Sunday paper. But right next to church, it's made for hot takes and reactions. Severe Reactions. Michael Severe is back on 1620 The Zone with Severe Reaction. Sundays 8 to 10 and doesn't hold back on what went right and what went wrong on Saturday. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Only on 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
He must have been high, like really high.
On 1620 The Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for predictions.
Under, bet the under. Vikings and the under, bet the under.
It is that time of week where we make all the predictions for the biggest events in sports coming up this weekend.
I don't see the Formula One race on there.
Oh, is it this week, Nick? You never.
They're in Texas.
Remember 2 weeks ago or whatever? He was like, "Oh yeah, the race this weekend," and then he was like, "Wait, never mind. It's not even this weekend."
Yeah, he didn't even know.
Pathetic.
Last
the
week
schedule got messed up because of Russia.
Last week, the Lord and Master of predictions, a.k.a. me,
Oh,
won the week at 9-6. Josh went 8-7. Ravi filling in last week, just 4-11.
oh, Ravi, are you okay, bro?
There's
But-
not a race this weekend, by the way.
But Nick went 4-11.
Nice.
And
I'm
so
still ahead.
Nice
that
job,
big
Stinky.
lead, that huge lead that Nick had is now down to just 2 over Josh and 3 over me. That sound you hear in the background, na-na, na-na,
I never watched Jaws, so this
No,
doesn't
no.
affect me.
Nick,
I've never seen Jaws.
Nick, is Jaws streaming? We should do that movie in Movie Club.
We should.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
I know. I watched it for the first time all the way through 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Incredible movie.
Yeah.
So it took me a while too.
I see. I don't know if it'll be an Office Space situation where I know all the references and stuff to it.
It's still
so
really
maybe
good.
watching it.
You as long as you can get over the fact that the shark looks like a dork, you'll be okay.
Black
Wow.
like a doll's eyes.
Wow.
Nice,
Black
nice,
like a
Chance.
doll's eyes. Oh, Robert Shaw in that movie is great. All right. Tonight, Dodgers-Padres series tied at 1 each. Padres haven't hosted a playoff home game in
Baseball.
like 15 years. Who wins tonight?
Dodgers. They keep the good times rolling, as the song says. Let the good times roll.
Padres.
I will take the Padres.
We like a good pod.
Tomorrow,
Racer?
the Mariners host their first playoff game in 21 years.
Oh, against the Cosmonauts?
Against the Cosmonauts. I'm going to take the Mariners. The M's will get at least one.
I'm going with my heart. I'm also going with Seattle. I'm worried, though, that my head is telling me to pick the right team.
You know what, comrades? I hate to do this to Stibbs.
Wow.
But
No, you don't. You
I
hate
do.
Stibbs.
I love Stibbs.
You hate Stibbs.
I like Stibbs. I'm very fond of Stibbs.
Wow.
Every time we bring up his
Astro
name, your
sweet.
hands get all clammy.
Yeah, that's true.
Give me the Cosmonauts.
All right. Penn State, Michigan on big noon kickoff. Penn
Mm.
State getting 6.5 points. Nick.
Penn State.
Yeah,
Do you
TJ.
just do it 'cause of TJ?
TJ at Backswing is a Penn State guy.
That was where he went for college.
I'm
Well,
going to be
guess
honest.
what?
I didn't even hear him.
I'm also going to take Penn State in the
Oh,
points.
don't suck up, John.
I mentioned it earlier. When Penn State has traveled to the big house with fans,
With fans.
Michigan usually blows them out. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I like Michigan maybe by 10 points. Maybe by 10. So
Charge him double. Charge him
never mind.
double.
Penn State rolls.
There's another game that has first place implications in the Big Ten West. I know Nebraska and Purdue, that's the end all be all. That's the alpha and the omega. But Illinois hosting Minnesota, biggest Illinois home game in 11 years at least.
It's been a long time.
Minnesota 6.5 point road favorite. Ibrahim's back,
folks.
Problem is Illinois quarterback situation a little dicey. I'm going to go with the Gophers.
I'm with you, John. I stand with John on this one.
I want Illinois.
Okay, well then pick Illinois, Nick.
I'm going to pick
You
Illinois.
can pick Illinois.
Okay, Nick picks
It's
Illinois.
a free country.
Yeah, jeez, Nick.
Unlike what you want it to be, it's a free country.
What, my student loan's getting paid off? I do want that.
Alabama.
Alabama.
A 7-point favorite at Tennessee. Biggest game in Neyland Stadium in 2 decades at least.
Screw it. Go Vols. The best fight song in all of college sports, Rocky Top. Sing that song, folks. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Give me the Vols. Wrong team's favored.
I agree.
I also agree.
Tennessee.
They're the only 10 I see.
Oh, okay, stop.
All right, well, Bama's going to win now.
Bama's going to
They're
roll.
one
By
of
a
my
million.
pick'ems.
Big 12 battle, undefeated teams. Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy versus TCU. Oklahoma State, 3.5 point dogs at TCU. Nick.
Texas country. Let's ribbit. TCU, the Bullfrogs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with Nick on this one. I mentioned the number of plays that Oklahoma State saw last week, 104. I think just a little too tired. I like this TCU team. They've done a good job under a first-year coach. Give me TCU.
Clean sweep.
Oh, wow. This is
Taking the
way
Purple
too much
Frogs.
agreement, folks.
Purple Frogs. USC at Utah. Utes trying to bounce back after a loss in the Rose Bowl last week. SC trying to stay undefeated. SC 3.5-point dogs at Utah. This is where I think Kyle Whittingham's team gets it done. SC, the undefeated streak ends. Give me Utah at home.
I'm also feeling Utah.
Damn it. I thought this was going to be one where I could pick up a point because a lot of people like USC in this one because TCU's coming off the loss, but I'm going to go with Utah.
To the NFL. Sunday afternoon. The Minnesota Vikings at the Miami Dolphins. By the way, Tua not playing. He's practicing, but he will not play.
Teddy also not playing.
Vikings 3-point favorite.
Oh, Chance. Come
thank
on,
you, Chance.
Chance.
Give me the Fins.
Of course you're taking Miami.
I refuse to lose.
Skull.
Yeah, a third-string quarterback.
Vikings.
The Vikings have had a lot of embarrassing losses over the years. That would be pretty embarrassing.
I hope Kirk Cousins chokes.
Now, you know what? Give me Miami to cover, but the Vikings to win.
Wow.
I'm with
All
Nick.
right. You know
I'm
what?
Standing with
I'll take that point.
Fins.
Sunday afternoon late, Arrowhead Stadium, rematch of the AFC Divisional Playoff. Bills, 2.5-point favorites at the Chiefs. Nobody walks into Arrowhead Stadium and takes away the role of favorite unless you're the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo overrated?
Buffalo over not rated.
Oh.
Give me the Bills minus 2.5.
Yeah, and the game that is the appetizer to the main course on Sunday night.
No. The main course is Carolina, Los Angeles, which is 20 minutes before this game.
That's weird. I could have sworn it was Vikings Dolphins.
It's definitely not that,
I
Nick.
can't say that was
yeah, give me the Bills. You know what? How about this? Bills by double digits.
Whoa!
Bills by 10.
Chiefs Kingdom, come down to Backswing and let Josh have it.
Give me the Bills.
I believe in Mahomes. Chiefs.
Wow. All right, I'm happy we just disagreed on something.
The main event. Sunday
Eagles.
Night Football.
Jeez.
Don't even have to think about
The
it.
undefeated Philadelphia Eagles take on Josh's 4-1 Cowboys. Dallas getting 6.5.
The best
Nick.
defense in the NFL.
Eagles. They're
Josh,
gonna
last
Jalen
week,
Hurts your feelings.
like a moron, you did not take the Cowboys. I was the only one that got the point because I knew what was going to happen.
And Dallas won. That was awesome.
Dallas won, which is bad for America, but I could have told you it was going to happen. So are you going to be an idiot this week and fade your team again?
I am. Here's why. I just do not think the Cooper Rush could keep playing this turnover-free football. At a certain point, he's going to throw a couple.
Well, that's because it makes your 19-year-old offensive coordinator smarter because he's not trying to do too many
I
cute
love
things.
it. But I think he's going to do something dumb. I think the Eagles are going to win by like 10. So, yeah, give me the Eagles.
I'm going to steal another point.
Let's go, Cowboys. Glory.
Yes. Glory hole for Dallas. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they'll cover the 6.5.
I hope so, John. I
They'll
hope you're
cover
right.
the 6.5.
Hope you're right.
Prop bets for the game on Saturday. Anthony Grant. These are prop bets. Most of them available right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Promo code 1620.
Anthony Grant rush yards over under 69.
Nice.
And a half under.
Same.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that
Negative,
was
boys.
easy.
Yep.
Aiden O'Connell passing yards over under 324.5.
Under.
That seems high.
It is high, but I mean, he averages about that.
God dang it.
Are we all in agreement
Yes.
again? All right.
All right. Charlie Jones receiving yards. This is a yard spread. Charlie Jones minus 16.5. That's more receiving yards than Trey Palmer, Nick.
Give me Charlie.
Trey.
I'm going to go Palmer, yes.
Let's go, Trey. Come on, man. Charlie Jones has been hurt lately.
Nebraska quarterbacks who take a snap behind center.
Yes, thank you.
Over under 1.5. Josh, this was your prop.
I'm worried. I'm going to go over. And I'm worried that this is not for fun reasons. This isn't for funsies.
Under.
I'll take the over.
I think Casey will finish. Will there be either team a special teams or defensive score in this game? Either team, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
No. And finally, Nebraska plus 13.5, total 56.5 against Purdue. I've seen a lot of predictions. I've heard a lot of predictions. A lot of people think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I actually don't feel great about my score prediction. I do feel comfortable about the under hitting in this game. I also feel confident Nebraska 7-2 against the spread when underdogs by 10 or more points on the road the last 7 seasons.
7.
While Purdue, as Michael Severe pointed out, they're not great in this spot as a double-digit favorite. I think Nebraska covers, keeps it close, but I will take Purdue to win 30-21.
Nick?
I think that it will be close for a while, but ultimately it'll be 28-17 Purdue.
Wow, so I am the true negative boy on this one then, because I have Purdue covering. I think that we're going to find out that Nebraska played a couple of really bad teams and that Purdue is good. I thought Michael had some really good stats, but I like Purdue 37-17 in this one. I don't think Nebraska's offense is good enough. I don't think their defense is good enough. I think Purdue pulls away early and wins this one pretty comfortably.
Hey,
37-17.
The 17 boys.
All right.
Negative boys. The negative boys.
Well,
Sorry, Chance.
There you go. That is predictions for this week. Don't forget, you can catch Josh and Gary right after the game on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg, plus 1620thezone.com.
Plus, first ever
Big Red Overreaction.
First ever half-hour edition of Big Red Overreaction. Pretty cool. We decided to shorten it a little bit. Half-hour, double speed edition. We're just going to talk really fast.
And Michael Severe will have his reaction Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Severe reaction on 1620 The Zone. When we come back, we'll get to some unsportsmanlike content. I think it's still 6-0 Braves.
Ugh.
Middle
Josh
innings
earlier. He
against
threw his
the
hat down.
He wasn't happy.
the Braves down 6-0. And by the way, with just 12 minutes left, looks like Urban Meyer's going to win.
Boo!
51.4%.
Everyone log on and vote right now.
If
Stay
you haven't
in
voted, get in now, but you only
Stop
got
the
12
steal.
minutes left. Urban Meyer, Mike Leach, not Frost versus the world.
Can we do a recount?
Yeah, can we? What happened with the hanging chads in this one?
You know what? If you two want to go to Washington, D.C. and riot, go right ahead.
It's just the state capital. I'll just go to Lincoln.
You just go to Lincoln?
Yeah, let's go to Lincoln.
Yeah, there's less security there.
Yeah.
We're at Backswing, 129th and Maple, South Side on 1620 The Zone. First beer's on him. And John Bishop here from McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. The folks that are always on time or you don't pay a dime. It is getting colder out there. The furnace is turning on very soon. And if you have not had your furnace checked recently, please schedule a furnace inspection. Because not only can you make sure that furnace is going to work through the winter, but that it's going to work safely. Because carbon monoxide is a serious, serious issue. It can lead to fatality. So please make sure you get that furnace checked before the winter starts. And if you contact McCarthy's today, 855-1-HOUR, or McCarthy's1hour.com, you can join their Comfort Club, and that gets you a twice annual inspection of both your furnace and your AC. Plus, you get discounts on repairs, priority service, and it's a low monthly fee that will never change for the lifetime of your membership. That's McCarthy's1hour.com for McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. Always on time, or you don't pay a dime.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
West Omaha, you're in for a treat. Cops is now open at 180th and Center. Famous for their pizza and wings, but with their new location comes an extensive new menu that includes salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes, New York strips, several pasta dishes, salads, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Now open at Shadow Lake Town Center and 180th and Center. Click copspizza.com to see the menu. Pizza, steaks, pasta, salads, and so much more.
It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
Patrick McGinnis is actually the guy who first coined the phrase fear of missing out. This reminds me of when you're in the supermarket and you're always worried you're going to pick the slowest line, and inevitably you do.
Part of what helps us to overcome that is a sense of gratitude. Those 3 seconds, if you can just use that time to be appreciative of what you have, you will not be focusing on what you don't have.
Something you should know wherever you listen.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian home cocktail maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian cocktail maker. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for weddings, holidays, birthdays, or for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. And right now, buy a Bartesian and get your first 6 cocktails free when you go to bartesian.com/drinks. Go to BARTESIAN.com/drinks for your free cocktails. That's bartesian.com/drinks.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
Winding things down here at Backswing at 129th and Maple. Here is Nick with some content.
The black shirts will not be returning this year. Mickey Joseph's reasoning: the black shirt adds more pressure to them, and if they don't play well, then they get a whole bunch of negative comments about the black shirts. We're talking about being just a team, so we're going to be a team now, and we're going to let the black shirts sit down for a while. Is this good reasoning?
It's more overthinking of this. People, come on. Stop overthinking this. Here was an opportunity to actually make the black shirts what they were meant to be, and that is the first team defense wears the black shirts. That's what it's for. And then if a guy loses his first team spot, he loses his black shirt. It's very simple. But we're going to turn this into this mythical beast where all of a sudden, ooh, I wear the black shirt. Now I play better. Come on. We overthink this silly thing all the time.
Tradition's dead.
I know
what it was is dead.
I
used to get mad about it all the time. Now I don't get mad about it anymore.
Yep.
Do whatever you want. I mean, that's
Burn
the thing.
them.
You know what?
Burn them.
I'll say this in all sincerity. Just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to change this, then that does allow you to maybe change some other traditions that perhaps need to be changed too.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Let's pile up all the black shirts at the 50-yard line, bring in one of the dragons, and just yell Dracarys.
Oh.
Is it the dragon from the baseball game the other night?
It's the dragon from the baseball game. Yeah.
I like it.
Speaking of NFL,
yes,
was last night's Bears-Commanders game better or worse than last week's Bears-Broncos overtime classic?
You mean Colts-Broncos?
Colts-Broncos overtime classic.
What was the question?
Was last night's game worse than last week's game?
Yes. I think it was. The Bears, what happened to Justin Fields, man? Remember when he was good?
Well, yeah, he was
college.
He was playing for a really good team against,
Nebraska-like schools?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
now he's
never
playing
good.
in the NFL, which
I'm
stands for
sad.
not for long.
I
if you make
wanted
those
him
kind
to
of
be
calls.
good. He's not very good. Washington has Carson Wentz, and he's hilarious to watch. Last night's game was really, really bad. I think Al Michaels hates his life right now. I don't think he's happy about anything, and he is not very good at pretending to be excited. And poor Kirk is like the NFL's lapdog. Oh, this is so great. I love this. This is so cool because the NFL pays me.
Yeah.
No one's having a good time. That game sucked.
No, it's worse. Last week was at least
Funny.
entertaining in a funny way. This was just a typical Bears game.
Yeah,
It was just
that's true.
bleh. And then you add the Commanders, who are a trash-fired franchise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, last night was much worse. Though the finish was rather interesting with the ball being juggled and caught at the half-yard line.
And the great run by Fields right before it to pick up first and goal.
I knew as soon as I knew that
That
when
he
they
didn't score?
when they didn't score on first down and goal, they were not going to score.
The NFL is still haggling with Apple TV about the Sunday ticket. Does it matter to you where it ends up?
No, because I got my ways of watching games I need to see out of market. It really doesn't matter to me because no matter where it ends up, it's going to be way too damn expensive anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Now, I don't watch it the way you do. I go over to my parents' house, and we watch it on actual Sunday ticket right now.
You have ice cream?
I did have ice cream last night, Nick. It does matter ultimately to me, but I understand why it doesn't matter to you. I do want to know. I just want to know what the answer is,
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? ESPN is planning a crossover with their two chit-chat shows, Get Up and First Take. On Monday, both shows will combine forces over the course of 4 hours, crossing over with the different ESPN talents. Should we sue?
Yes.
Yes.
The crossover?
That's our gig.
Yeah.
That's our thing.
When other local stations that are fake, by the way, but
Fake
if we
stations.
did have fake local stations that aren't 1620, I've seen they have different names for them, which they should. This is stolen valor. Stolen valor. I need Greeny to give us credit for this.
Yeah, and who's going to give two craps when Greeny is crossing over with Stephen A?
Yeah, they work together on the NBA stuff. It's not like this is a new pairing. They
And
have
then-
bad
And
chemistry.
then what?
by
Do
the way,
they
Oh,
cross over from Stephen A to Kornheiser or whoever the hell's after him?
Kugler has to have some connections, right? Can we make Kugler go over there and be like,
Kevin?
Hey, yeah.
Not at ESPN.
I know, not like, I didn't know if he knew people who were there. I know he doesn't.
I'm sure he
work for
probably knows some folks.
Be
Yeah.
like, hey.
You want Kevin to do a crossover?
No, I want Kevin to be like, listen.
Oh, you want him to defend
Like,
us?
it's
Well, no,
started.
you want his wife to do it because his wife's an attorney.
Nice.
That's fair.
Yeah, you don't want Kevin working on our behalf because he'll stab
He'll
us in the
actually
back.
side with them.
Yeah, he'll
Oh.
side with them.
Cool. The 2001 Women's Boston Marathon champion could be stripped of her title due to the use of a banned substance. Josh,
Nick,
is it worth it to use a banned substance in 2024 so you can get a headline on the ESPN.com also?
Ooh, good question. So I'm running so well that they would test me.
You run?
I have been known to run. Yeah, I think it's worth it. If I'm going to get a story written about me, random guy from Omaha, Nebraska wins the Boston Marathon because he cheats? Yeah, why not?
I think we should do this. Even if they don't test you, you should do all the supplements.
All of them?
Yes, everything that is illegal
The
that runners
cream
do.
and the clear.
Yes, use it all and see what it does with your
It
time.
probably would kill me, I think, if I were to use all the steroids.
So you got to work your way up with it. You got to start now.
A
work your way
little
up.
nipple, and then by the end, I'm just eating whole steroids.
Yeah, come on. This is Boston. Boston hasn't
I'm going
won.
to Boston.
Boston never wins legitimate championships. They stole their first Super Bowl. They stole every Super Bowl.
Every championship.
So yes. So you should go in and steal a Boston Marathon by taking all the supplements.
Take that, Bill Simmons.
Yeah.
I like it.
Speaking of cheaters, Tom Brady could face a fine for attempting to kick Grady Jarrett of Atlanta after the terrible roughing the passer penalty in last week's game. Why is Tom Brady being so whiny?
By the way, he did get fined. You see how much the fine was?
That's like 11,000.
Yeah, for him, that's like 50 cents.
Right.
It'd be like if I fine Nick for something for a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Maybe a penny for Nick.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Maybe we'll pay you because you need a little money for
Please.
your fine.
I would like
He
to
doesn't need any money. I'm paying his damn loans off. This is, I mean,
you know what's funny? He kicked him, and then the flag was thrown. He thought the flag was on him for kicking him.
Which it should have been.
Sad.
It should have been.
Sad.
But instead, Jerome Boger, the dumbest official in the National Football League.
Booger.
Got him. Nice
Well,
job,
I'm
Josh.
gonna go. He tried to hurt him.
Still not
How
as,
that guy has a job is beyond me. I
still
don't
not as
get it.
bad as the other roughing the passer, the one in the Chiefs-Raiders game. That one was so bad.
That one was dumb. Yeah. A man has sued Texas Pete after learning the hot sauce actually originated in North Carolina and not Texas. Does he have a good argument?
He's mad. He's saying, like, I wanted Texas flavor, not North Carolina flavor. With a name like Texas Pete, one would think the famed hot sauce is manufactured somewhere in the Lone Star State.
Well, okay, so you got this guy who's claiming that the makers of the hot sauce, it's false advertising because Texas Pete is made in North Carolina. We have Texas roadhouses all across the country.
Good point.
We're not in Texas.
Great point.
You can have things, I mean, there's stuff named after other places all the time.
We have a street here called Chicago.
Yep. We call John Good Take John. We're doing it ironically.
This is the dumbest lawsuit. Oh, I wanted it to be in Texas. Whatever.
Yeah, dumb.
I've never had Texas Pete. Have you?
No.
I've never heard
I
of it.
have
wonder
my
how
hot
good it
sauce
is.
and I stick to my hot sauce.
Well, branch out, Josh.
I have, and then I went back to the hot sauce that I like. Frank's. I'm a Frank's boy.
I'm a Cholula boy.
It's very difficult to beat Frank's.
Frank's is so good.
I like Cholula.
It's so consistent.
It's so consistent.
Yeah. Louisiana,
It
not
never-
consistent.
It
Louisiana.
never lets you down.
Yep. I get the
Ever.
extra hot.
I like the
Oh,
chili lime Cholula. That's my lane.
that
I mean,
sounds about
Cholula
right.
is a good hot sauce, but Frank's
Put
never
on
lets
some
you
eggs.
down. Ever. All right. That is content. The results are final. Urban Meyer won.
Dumb.
Disgusting.
51.2%
Sad.
of the vote,
Sad.
which means next he takes on the mullet,
Oh.
Mike Gundy.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
That could be another interesting
Uh-huh.
matchup. We'll come back with the bet of the day and wrap things up live from Backswing here on 129th and Maple after this on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your number one investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, October 14th. It's glow time. See club for details.
The 2022-23 Creighton sports season holds great promise for competing for Big East and national honors, and 1620 The Zone will be there all year long. The 1620 The Jays podcast covers all of Blue Jay sports, from volleyball, soccer, and cross country in the fall to basketball in the winter, plus baseball, softball, tennis, golf, and rowing. Join me, John Bishop, along with Josh Peterson and Connor Happer each week for interviews with Creighton student athletes and coaches. It's the 1620 The Jays podcast. New episodes each Friday on 1620thezone.com and on Twitter at 1620 The Jays.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Guys, want an effective, affordable way to get ED medication 100% online? Whether you're looking for Viagra or Cialis, or generic medications as effective as Viagra but 90% cheaper, you can find it all through Hims. Hims is your go-to for doctor-trusted treatments to help you treat ED. Get ED treatment for as low as $3 per use and save up to $1,000 per month with generic for Viagra versus the brand name at 4hims.com/radio. If prescribed, your medication will be shipped to your door in discreet packaging. Do it all online. No in-person appointments. Get hard results with Hims or your money back. Go to 4hims.com/radio to get your first visit free. That's 4hims.com/radio to get started free. forhims.com/radio. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
As furnace owners, we cannot stress enough how important it is to have that furnace inspected before winter. Carbon monoxide is dangerous and undetectable without a monitor. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air can help. Join the McCarthy's Comfort Club and get a twice annual inspection of your furnace and AC, plus discounts on repairs and priority service, all for one low monthly fee. Stay healthy, safe, and warm this winter with McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air. McCarthy's, always on time or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
They're punching for balls.
The 1620, The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding me.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right, yesterday we all had the Bears.
Why?
God. Why?
Why did we do
Why? And you know what sucks? Like, we almost won.
Yeah.
I know.
Sad. Give me Purdue minus 13.5.
Hater, give me Nebraska plus 13.5 and Trey Palmer over 72.5 yards receiving. That's a same game parlay on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Promo code 1620 plus 196.
Nick, I still have faith. Fins up. Dolphins on the money line plus 150.
All right, that's silly. That's the bet of the day.
Iowa.
So again, don't forget, Josh, Gary, Big Red Overreaction tomorrow night, right after the game, 1620 The Zone, 1019 The Keg. Severe Reaction, Sunday morning, 8 a.m., 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Thanks to Bree, thanks to Trevor, thanks to everybody with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild, thanks to TJ here at Backswing. Tremendous time. Thanks for hosting us on this One Beer Friday.
What a great Friday. It's perfect fall weather outside. Have a lovely evening, everybody.
Have an enjoyable weekend.
Fins up.